Okay, so we can be starting the session. Technology is not an event. It's just part of everyday learning. A warm good evening to one and all. With immense joy and gratitude, I welcome you all to the inauguration of the AICT Training and Learning Adult Academy Online Faculty Development Program on Advances in AI, Applications and Ethical Dimensions in Intelligent Systems and Digital Security, organized by the Department of Computer Science, Nirmala College, Movatupuzha. To begin on a prayerful note, we have with us our dear students for the prayer song. May I request you all to join for the same.
Lord, I come, I confess, bowing here, I find my rest. Without you, I fall apart. You're the one that guides my heart. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you.
Thank you so much, dear students. To give us a brief introduction about this faculty development program, I invite Mr. Sharon Matthew G., Associate Professor and Joint HOD, Department of Computer Science. It is his relentless hard work and commitment behind the scenes that has greatly contributed to making this FDP a reality. Sir, please.
Miss, am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miss. Good evening. A warm welcome to all. Today, we are hosting a 6-day online faculty development program funded by AICT Adult Academy titled Advances in AI, Applications and Ethical Dimensions in Intelligent Systems and Digital Security from 15th September to 20th September 2025, organized by Department of Computer Science, Nirmala College, Movatupuzha. This faculty development program is a unique opportunity for faculty members across all disciplines to explore cutting-edge advancements in artificial intelligence. This FDP aims to equip participants with essential knowledge of intelligent systems and digital security, concepts, tools, and techniques. The program will enable educators to effectively integrate transformative techniques into their curriculum. The FDP feature panel of 13 keynote speakers, including 7 industrial leaders and 6 prominent academicians from around the globe. As per the directives of Adult Academy, all sessions are scheduled in the evening. First day, session will start from 6 p.m., followed by sessions from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the next 4 days. Last, that is on 6th day, the session will start at 2 p.m. and the validity section will be at 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. We are thrilled to have more than 200 participants from various disciplines for this program. At the end of the FDP, An assessment test will be conducted for candidates who maintained a minimum of 80% attendance throughout the program. For the assessment test, at least 70% score is required for certification. Successful participants can download the certificates from the adult portal. I wish you all a fruitful and encouraging learning experience throughout the 6 days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope I am audible. Myself, Sherry Opanikar, Head of the Department of Computer Science and Coordinator of this FDP, consider it a privilege to extend a warm note of welcome to all present. The Department of Computer Science is the heir to a princely heritage of academic excellence. Master of Computer Applications course approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, was officially inaugurated in November 2002. At present, we have a batch strength of 120 students, and the academic year 24-25 marked the beginning of integrated MCA, our 5-year program, with a batch strength of 60 students. With a vision of achieving academic excellence for technological advancement of the society, we are on the mission to train a future generation technical experts with integrity of character. AICTE Training and Learning Academy online faculty development program on advances in AI, applications and ethical dimensions in intelligent systems and digital security, organized by the department, is designed to provide faculty members with deeper insights into the rapidly evolving field of artificial intelligence, its applications, and most importantly, the ethical dimensions that must guide its use. As we move into a future driven by intelligent systems, as we all know, and digital innovation, such initiatives are very much vital to ensure responsible, meaningful, and transformative use of technology. It is indeed a moment of great honor to welcome the esteemed dignitaries and guests who have joined us this evening. First and foremost, I extend a warm welcome to our respected Reverend Dr. Monsignor Pius Malekandathil, Manager of Nirmala College, a renowned historian and a leading expert in medieval history of India and the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala. Reverend Father's vision and guidance have always been a source of strength for our institution. We welcome you, Father. I am also delighted to welcome our beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Justin K. Kuriakos, whose dynamic leadership continues to inspire both faculty and students alike. On behalf of the organizing committee and all present here, Father, we extend a very warm welcome to you. A very special and heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Nibun Verma, Global Program Manager, UST Kerala, whose presence adds great value to this occasion. Cornell Executive Leadership Certified Proven Technology Leader with 2 decades of experience working in multiple capacities from application developer through project program delivery manager. We are indeed greatly privileged to have you, sir, as a member of our board of studies. On behalf of the organizing committee, the management, the faculty members, and all the participants, sir, I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to you, sir. I also warmly welcome Reverend Father Paul Kalathur, Bursar of Nirmala College, whose constant support strengthens every initiative of our department. A special word of welcome to Mr. Sherin Matthew G., Associate Professor and Joint HOD of the Department of Computer Science, whose hard work and commitment behind the scenes have played a vital role in bringing this FDP to life. Hearty welcome to you, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Thomas KV, Coordinator of this FDP and the Director of the Department of Computer Science, for his tireless efforts in shaping this program. Sir, your efforts so far, your contributions, the mentorship that you lead us and guide us are beyond words. On behalf of the management, the faculty members, and all the participants, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Above all, I extend my warmest welcome to all the distinguished faculty participants from various institutions who have joined us online. Your presence here makes this FDP truly meaningful, and I hope this week-long journey of knowledge sharing and collaboration will be enriching and rewarding for each one of you. I would also like to extend a special note of thanks to the Adagel Academy for their vision and efforts in organizing such comprehensive and enriching programs across the country. Their initiatives open up valuable opportunities for faculty members to enhance their knowledge, update their skills, and stay aligned with the latest advancement in technology. We are truly grateful to ADAL for this platform. Once again, a very warm welcome to one and all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. To move on with our program, we have amongst us our manager, Reverend Dr. Monsignor Pius Malakandathil, also former professor at the Center for Historical Studies, JNU Delhi. He is a renowned historian and a leading expert in medieval history of India and the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala. May I request you, Father, for the presidential address. Father, please.
Yeah, dear respected Father Justin Guriakos, our principal, Professor K.V. Thomas, our autonomy director, Father Linz Bassa, Ms. Sherry Opanike, head of the department, Dr. Shereen Matthew, head of the Department of Computer Science, esteemed delegates, participants, and dear scholars from different parts of the country. I'm extremely delighted to stand before you and to welcome you wholeheartedly once again to this beautifully academic event. You are thinking about the advances being done in the field of artificial intelligence. During these days of training and learning happening under the auspices of AICT training program. Computer has been a subject of academic interest only in the recent past. Only in 1953 that it was being introduced as an academic subject in Cambridge, and that too a diploma program. So during the last 72 years, the gap of 72 years show the tremendous growth that computer has gained in diversification, in moving out to new areas of specialization, whereby now we have got computer applications, we have got data science, we have got pure computer science, we have got artificial intelligence, we have got cyber security, we have got IT, we have got computer and design. These are the different branches of computer studies that got diversified over a span of 72 years. Such a short span of time brought in new types of improvements and advances in the field of computers. Now, what I would like to say is that the participants of this FDP program, you on attending the classes and the training sessions and participating in different programs, you'd be acquiring different types of information, knowledge, and you'd be able to internalize these pieces of information and develop your own programs, your own schemes of action in the computer sector where you have been working and where you have been doing your research. I wish all the best for the great advances that is going to happen in your respective discipline, computer-related disciplines in the academic institution where you have been working. I wish all the best and make maximum use of this learning and training session that is happening here. And the cyber security and digital security is an interesting area that everyone is now being very much eagerly trying to get into. Because everywhere security issues are coming in a big way. Artificial intelligence also coming in a big way. In Tamil Nadu, on the border regions between the forest and human habitation, artificial intelligence being used to repel wild animals. So different types of voices and sounds are being made using artificial intelligence devices to warn the settlers about the coming of, about the infiltration of an elephant or a bear or a tiger or whatever be the type of wild animal that is coming in is being detected. Message is being conveyed to the settlers and the villages about the nature, the danger that is coming in, and people are being warned and they are being asked to take precaution about the incursion of wild animals. So this is the level of intervention that artificial intelligence is making in everyday life in different areas of human habitation, including areas bordering human habitation zone and the forest. So a lot of change and impact artificial intelligence can make in everyday life of present-day India, whether it's a town area, whether it's a suburban area, whether it's a borderland of forest. And I wish all the best for the participants, for the programs that you took out after the training session. And I wish that the training program be productive, fruitful, and highly useful for all the computer-loving people. With all these good wishes, I remain. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Monsignor, for your valuable presence and words of wisdom. Not just a historian or a leading expert in medieval history, our manager is an expert in industry technology also. Thank you so much, Father. Moving on, the most awaited inaugural address. We have amongst us Mr. Nibun Verma, Global Program Manager, UST Kerala. Cornell Executive Leadership Certified, proven technology leader with 2 decades of experience working in multiple capacities, from application developer through project program delivery manager. Sir has demonstrated history of developing and delivering complex enterprise software across diverse industry verticals and management methodologies to internal and external stakeholders, including customers, partners, and senior leaders. Skilled at managing large-scale IT initiatives using agile development practices with emphasis on Scrum, continuous integration, deployment, CI/CD, and DevOps framework that enable fast release of solutions and services. His professional expertise and inspiring outlook are sure to set the perfect tone for this FDP. May I request you, sir, for the inaugural address. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Thank
you're
you.
audible.
Yeah. Thank you very much, respected manager, respected principal, Sherry Opanikar, the head of the Department of Computer Science, and the co-coordinator of this FTP program. Mr. Sherin Matthew, the joint HOD of Department of Computer Science. Father Paul Kalatur, Dr. Thomas KV, Director, Department of Computer Science. All the attendees and my dear students and friends. Thank you very much for the warm welcome and the introduction. Being part of anything that is run by Nirmala College is almost like being part of a family function, because I have been associated with the college for quite some time in the capacity of the Board of Studies member. We have been meeting quite often and we have been discussing a lot of things. So as part of all these different meetings, we usually share our suggestions, we share our thoughts, ideas, and all that. In the last few meetings we have, just like any other meeting that is happening in this world, no meeting or no discussion goes without talking about AI. So in one of our last few meetings, we had a discussion on how we should run specific focused programs on Gen AI, its capacities and limitations and all that. So it is quite heartening to see that one of those ideas suggested by the Board of Studies is getting implemented with remarkable speed in the form of this particular program. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate all the hard work that has gone into it. I've had a look at the lineup of speakers who are going to take us through an entire week of learning and idea sharing. It is such an impressive lineup that you cannot miss this, right? That is how it is. That is a magnitude of what we have pulled off here. I also saw a couple of my colleagues and great friends, Matthew and Ranjit, in the lineup of speakers. So I think I just saw Matthew in this call. So it is so delighted to see all of them here for this program. I'm sure that this definitely has the capacity to become the game changer when it comes to bridging the gap between industry and academia, right? Now, when it comes to the advances in AI, right? Not just us here. I mean, the entire world is. If we say that the world is changing because of AI, that is a statement that is already getting obsolete. The world has changed, right? The pace at which AI and its capabilities are developing is so fast that we do not even get the time to blink. Every day we are getting new developments in the space. So the entire world itself is like standing spellbound as to where are we headed. Right? Nobody has that kind of clarity because the pace at which things are happening is too breathtaking to have any clarity on that. Now, there are certain interesting things associated with this. When you look at the AI space specifically at this time, right? We have started with predictive AI, and now we are talking about. We used to talk about generative AI. That was the big thing. Now we are talking about agentic AI. Now we are not sure what are the new things that are coming up, right? But now that we have a lot of capabilities available, a lot of LLMs available, it is not about inventing any new LLMs or developing any new LLMs, right? It is also about understanding. It is also about coming up with new use cases wherein we can apply these capabilities. It is also about understanding all these existing capabilities and then assembling such capabilities together in such a way that we are able to deliver an end-to-end solution to solve an actual problem. It could be a domain-specific problem. It could be a social problem. So whatever we do, using all these capacities, right? How are we leveraging these capabilities? That is a big question now. When we used to learn technology, it was, especially when it comes to programming, printing hello world was the big thing, right? Okay, now I have learned the technology. So beyond all that, we really need to know what can we do with all these capabilities. That is the most important thing at this point of time. A classic example is Microsoft's product GitHub Copilot, which is used for code generation, code review, and everything that is related to development, right? So if you look at a product like that, they are using the capabilities of all the different LLMs out there. It has got GPT-5, it has got Claude, it has got Gemini. So it is using the capabilities of all these LLMs, and it has built this product on top of that. So that is why we said, assembling all these capabilities to deliver innovative solutions. How do you improve the efficiency of a developer, of a programmer, using all these capabilities? That is where we need to be. Now, customers, all the CEOs, all the chief technology officers, everybody is losing sleep over this right now. How do we, we have so much of capabilities. How do we make use of it? Right? That is where we are now. Now, when you look at the job market as of today, people say that jobs are getting cut because of AI and all that. But from our experience, at least, we are not there yet. Jobs are not getting lost at this point of time because of AI capabilities. Right? There are layoffs happening, which are definitely part of the industry, part and parcel of the industry. But a lot of other factors are at play here. We have all these, geopolitical conditions there. We also have the macroeconomic conditions aiding all these things, right? It is. We are not yet there. AI taking over the jobs, we are not yet there. And AI will not replace us. Somebody with the knowledge of AI will definitely replace us. And we definitely need to make sure that our students, right, they have those capabilities. They need to understand the capabilities that are at play here. They also need to think from a solutionist perspective. So gone are the days wherein we could just say that, okay, I'm a Java programmer. I'm an amazing Java programmer. Give me a job. We used to get a job because of that. But these days, having that capability is not enough, right? Instead of technologists, we need to mold students into solutionists, people who can look at all those people who can just look around and identify problem statements, people who can understand a domain, understand a business, and think of the use cases wherein they can apply these capabilities, or they can apply these learnings. So that journey is a pretty huge one, from a technologist to a solutionist, right? So that journey itself is very, very important. And that is the best thing to do in order to make sure that we bridge the gap between industry and the academia. Because unlike the previous years, wherein we always had the struggle, how do we bridge this gap? Right now, because of all these advancements, the pace has become so high that, we also need to kind of keep up with this, the pace of these technological advancements. That is the need of the hour at this point of time. And programs like this, especially on the advances in the AI space, is definitely the right step in this direction. Now, I'm sure that all these speakers are going to share a lot of great inputs about the advancements that are happening in the AI. The only request that I have to all of you is to think from this perspective. How do we mold our students into solutionists and not technologists, right? How do we train them to identify problem statements? How do we train them to understand the capabilities and to leverage those capabilities to come up with, to design or to assemble all these existing capabilities into an end-to-end comprehensive solution? That is what we need to look at. And that is where we want to be. And this is just a baby step in that direction. But I'm sure if all of us are together, if all of us put all our efforts into this, I'm sure that we'll be able to pull that off magnificently. I wish everybody a few days of amazing learning and idea sharing. And please do not stop. Please do not stop learning after this. Keep learning every single day, because technology is kind of trying to overtake us. We should not let technology do that, right? We should always stay in the front. That is the only way by which we can stay relevant in this industry at this point of time. So once again, thank you very much for this opportunity. As I said, it's always a privilege. It's always an honor to be part of a college that has got a rich history like that of Nirmala College. And thank you for having me here. Wishing everybody all the best. Together, let us learn, grow, and just change the world. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your thought-provoking and motivating inaugural address. So maybe those who are attending now must have felt how what it feels like to have such an eminent person from the industry itself as the member of Board of Studies for us. During the Board of Studies meetings that we have, the contributions, the thoughts, the contributions from Nipun Verma sir are beyond words that can explain. And we focus our curriculum on the suggestions that we get from Nipun sir, as well as other members of our Board of Studies. Once again, sir, on behalf of the faculty, the management of Nirmala College, and all the participants joined here, thank you so much, sir, for today's inaugural address. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, okay, sir. Moving on, I would like to invite our beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Justin K. Kuriakos, for a few words. His dedicated leadership and vision has always guided our college to greater heights. So may I request you, Father, for the few words.
Most respected manager, Monsignor Dr. Pais Malayakandathil, our manager, Mr. Nipun Verma, our chief guest, Father Paul Kalathur Barsar, Reverend Dr. Thomas K.V., Director of Department of Science, Computer Science, Ms. Sherry O. Panikar, Head of the Department of Computer Science, esteemed guests, respected faculty members, dear students, and all participants, good evening. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to Nirmala College Moatuvada for this 1 week FDP on the theme Advances in Artificial Intelligence. This event makes an important milestone in our academic calendar, and I'm delighted to see such an enthusiastic gathering of scholars, practitioners, and young minds eager to explore their fascinating subjects. Artificial intelligence, as all we know, is no longer just a stuff of science fiction. It has become an integral part of our lives. Artificial intelligence is redefining the way we work, communicate, and interact with the world. The recent advances in machine learning, natural language processing, and robotics have opened doors to possibilities that were unimaginable a decade ago. Yet, with such rapid progress comes a responsibility on that we, as an academic community, must not take it lightly. Intelligence systems raise critical questions about data privacy, algorithmic bias, job displacement, and even moral status of autonomous machines. Cybersecurity too has emerged as a pressing concern, as AI can both enhance and threaten digital security. The ethical dimensions of AI are important as technological one, and it is crucial that we train not just skilled engineers but also socially responsible citizens who can harness these tools for the greater good. This FTP provides a rare platform for meaningful dialogue on these issues. Over the running week, we will hear from distinguished experts, academicians, professionals, and researchers who will share their insights on cutting edge of AI application and the ethical frameworks that must guide their deployment. I am confident that these discussions, workshops, and interactions will stimulate critical thinking, inspire collaborative research, and perhaps even ignite new innovations right here in our campus. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to our speakers whose presence adds a greater value to this FTP. I also extend my heartfelt welcome to the resource persons, faculty, colleagues, students, participants, and organizers whose dedication has made this event possible. Your commitment to learning and knowledge sharing is what makes Nirmala College a vibrant center of intellectual activity. As we embark on this academic journey together, let us remember that AI is not just about building smart machines, but about building smart, more inclusive, and more ethical society. I ensure that each of you the to participate actively, ask questions fearlessly, and take away ideas that will shape your future endeavors. Once again, I welcome all of you to this FOP. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father. We are very much grateful for those wise words of wisdoms. Thank you so much. In between, before I move on to the next session, I would like to mention that we have amongst us Mr. Matthew James, Senior Cloud Solution Architect, UST Kochi. Sir will be handling the first session of this FDP with the title Retrieval Augmented Generations with OpenAI. Sir, on behalf of the management, the faculty, and all the participants, we extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Moving on. I now invite Reverend Father Paul Kalathur, Bursar of Nirmala College, for a few words of felicitation. His support and goodwill have always been a strong pillar for our initiative. Father, please.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed resource persons, dear faculty members and participants, it is indeed a matter of joy and pride to be part of this faculty development program on advances in AI applications and ethical dimensions in intelligence systems and digital security. At the very outset, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Department of Computer Science of Nirmala College, Motivate Autonomous, for organizing such a timely and relevant program under the aegis of AICTE Training and Learning Academy. Artificial intelligence is not merely a technological revolution, but a transformation that touches every sphere of human life: education, healthcare, industry, governance, and even our daily decision making. However, with the great power comes great responsibility. Hence, the focus on ethics and digital security in this FTP is extremely meaningful, reminding us that technology must always serve humanity and uphold values of trust, dignity, and inclusivity. I believe this FTP will enlighten the participants with new insights, sharpen their knowledge, and equip them to guide the younger generation responsibly in this digital era. On this occasion, I place on record my deep appreciation for the dedicated efforts of our coordinators, faculty members, and the Atal Academy. Let us continue to nurture such academic endeavors which not only enhance knowledge but also shape responsible citizens of tomorrow. I wish the program great grand success and all the participants a fruitful and enriching experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father, for that felicitation on a very beautiful technical note. Thank you so much, Father. Moving on. To express gratitude on behalf of the Department of Computer Science, I invite Dr. Thomas KV, Coordinator of FDP and Director, Department of Computer Science. With his efficient coordination and ever-inspiring support, this FDP has been brought to fruition. Sir, please.
Am I audible? Respected dignitaries, esteemed resource persons, dear participants, and my dear colleagues. As we all know, AICT Adult Academy has been conducting faculty development programs to enhance the quality of technical education and to encourage the promotion of interdisciplinary domains. Let me first congratulate Adult Academy for providing such a wonderful opportunity to the faculty members of AICT institutions to expand their knowledge and skill in diverse areas, including artificial intelligence. Today, AI is no longer just a buzzword. It has become an integral part of our daily conversation and lives. From business and healthcare to finance, transportation, education, digital security, agriculture, and entertainment. AI is reshaping the way we work and live by automating tasks, enhancing decision-making, and improving efficiency. I am confident that this 6-day faculty development program on advances in AI organized by the Department of Computer Science, Nirmala College, Moattura will serve as a stepping stone to new opportunities, paving the way for innovation, research, and technology-driven progress. Now, it is my privilege and responsibility to propose the vote of thanks to all who have contributed to the success of this FDP. First and the foremost, we express our heartfelt gratitude to AICT Adult Academy for approving our proposal and making this program possible. We truly appreciate the guidance and support extended by all concerned officials. We are deeply grateful to our manager, Monsignor Reverend Dr. Pius Malakandathil, a great historian and a visionary leader. His immense knowledge and administrative skills are an asset to this institution. In his presidential address, Father highlighted how computer science, especially artificial intelligence, is set to transform education and future employment. Thank you, Father, for your valuable insights. Our sincere thanks to Mr. Nibun Verma, Global Program Manager at UST Kerala, and our Board of Studies member for delivering the inaugural address. With 2 decades of rich experience, he not only emphasized the global significance of AI, but also inspired us with his motivational words. Thank you, sir, for your constant support and encouragement to Nirmala College. We are fortunate to have a dynamic and multi-talented principal, Reverend Dr. Justin K. Kuriakos, whose vision and leadership have been instrumental in every achievement of this institution. It was his noble idea to apply for the Adult FDP, which has been so effectively executed by the Department of Computer Science. Thank you, Father, for your enthusiasm and unwavering support and for your enriching words. A special words of appreciation goes to all our resource persons who are the pillars of this faculty development program. We sincerely thank each one of you for accepting our invitation, preparing diligently and delivering your sections with such dedication and expertise. Today's section are handled by Mr. Matthew James, Senior Cloud Solution Architect, and Mr. Ranjit Paulos, Principal Engineer, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning of UST Kerala. Thank you, both of you, well in advance. We also thank our bursar for Father Paul Kalatur for his constant encouragement, support, valuable guidance, and motivational felicitation. Thank you, Father. A heartfelt thanks to our head of the department, Ms. Sherry Opanikar, the joint coordinator, the backbone of this faculty development program, who has been tirelessly coordinating every aspects of the program from the very beginning. Thank you, madam, for your commitment and leadership. I also take this opportunity to thank all faculty members and staff of the Department of Computer Science of Nirmala College, Muatuvira, including Mr. Sherin Matthew, for their meticulous efforts and attention for the smooth conduct of the program. Finally, I extend my sincere thanks to all the participants. Your active involvement and enthusiasm are what makes this FDP meaningful. I am confident that this section will enrich you with valuable skills, practical tools, and fresh perspectives for enhanced teaching and research. Once again, on behalf of the organizing committee and Nirmala College Muatuvira, I thank each and every one of you for making this FDP a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for beautifully expressing our collective gratitude. Thank you so much. You're always a great mentor and a great leader. Thank you, sir. So with that, we come to the close of the inauguration ceremony. Thank you all for your presence and participation. Wishing this FDP great success and fruitful learning for everyone involved. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Once again, thanking all our distinguished guests who were part of this inaugural ceremony. Now, dear participants, we will be moving on to the technical sessions. Thank you. Moving on to the technical session. The topic for the day is, for our first session is RAG with OpenAI. Name of the expert, Mr. Matthew James, Senior Cloud Solution Architect, UST Kochi, Kerala. May I request Mr. Sherin Matthew G to introduce our resource person for the session. Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Today's our first session expert, Mr. Matthew James, and our topic is Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG with OpenAI. Mr. Matthew is a programmer, speaker, solution architect, specialist in Microsoft Azure Cloud, specialist in Azure AD Cosmos database, working as a Azure Cloud architect with UST for the past 15 years, providing solutions to Fortune 500 clients. He was a lead Azure Cloud Solution Architect for a cloud modernization journey for Costco US and Hero Motors India. Being an engineering professional with a BTech in Electronics and Communication from NSS College of Engineering, he was worked with companies like Dell, Intel Bangalore, and with multiple clients in US for about 5 years. Currently, Mr. Matthew working as Senior Cloud Solution Architect, UST Kochi. Sir, welcome you to this session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharin. Thank you, Sherry, for giving such a wonderful introduction. And I was hearing the whole introduction by various leaders, and I feel very glad to be present over here and then take a session. I realize the importance which you are giving, the college is giving for the next generation to realize about the trends which are in advance, because every day the trends are changing. Every day new technologies come up. By the time you plan for something and by the time you are ready with a curriculum, the whole subject or topic changes or the focus changes. So I think it's always good to hear, like, I mean, you are doing a very good effort, and under even Nipun is already there. So we all follow, we all talk about multiple, we all basically talk technology in the case of a UST or most of the industries, because technology keeps changing and we need to be updated in that track to realize like what comes next, and we have to be in advance to learn about it, to understand, to put some effort on it and figure out like how we can give that best to the client with this modern technology. So anyway, thanks for the introduction and today's topic. I'll be covering about RAG, and most of you to some extent might be knowing about RAG. What is RAG, and at least they might have done some hackathons, or I don't have a background about, I mean, I didn't check, sorry, it's my bad, whether college has done some hackathons on RAG or anything. But anyway, irrespective of that, I'll be covering the fundamentals and basics about the RAG. And in addition to that, so I'll be talking about a vector search, which is the fundamental of the RAG again. And we might have all studied about vectors. We might have scored 100 out of 100 in our maths exams of vector, but we might not have utilized an importance or the actual use case of why that vector we have studied about, and what is the advantage other than talking about cross product of two vectors and everything easily and writing and scoring some marks. We might not have understood or forgot the what you call the fundamentals of vector search, and that exactly precisely is all these ChatGPT and all the search. When we talk about search, we will be coming from a normal text search to a semantic search to a vector search. So these are all advanced form of search. So anyway, I'll be talking about all those and some ground rules in case if you wanted to have any questions. Either somebody can raise, or I may not see every participant, so either they can talk and stop me, or maybe I'll pause after some time and then anyone can talk about it, or I'll give a Q&A session at the end of it. Anyone can note down park the questions and then talk about it. Okay, so let me bring up my deck. Let me know once you're able to see. Anyone? You are, right?
Screen is visible. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. Thank you.
Yes.
So we'll be covering about the vector search, and which is the fundamental for the RAG. And we'll be talking about an MCP, which is the Model Context Protocol, which is the kind of hot buzzword today. So I thought like I'll introduce something. RAG is it's not outdated, I would say. It's all there, it's all coming up, but still there are more and more things coming up, and Model Context Protocol is one of the latest additions. I think a couple of days back, I think about a week back or a month back, there was a Google I/O, and they were also talking about the MCP, the lot of MCP servers getting created and all those. So I'll talk about what is it MCP and why it is gaining a traction in the modern industry, and why we all should be at least should know about MCP. What exactly is it? So let us, without much of a delay, let me get started. Just a quick about me, mostly a cloud solution architect, and especially focusing on Azure. And my focus areas are the authentication. There is an Azure authentication AD, which is called as an Entra ID in the Azure. and which all talks about the authentication, the security, and all those details. And I specialize in the Cosmos DB. That is a NoSQL databases. I think you all might have heard about MongoDB and DynamoDB or other document databases or the NoSQL. And I started learning about Cosmos DB about 6 to 8 years back. And when I realized the potential, I stopped working on even a SQL, and I transformed several clients by introducing the Cosmos DB and then giving the power of Cosmos DB and then training it. So we will be talking about the RAG and everything with respect to the Cosmos DB as well. And Cosmos DB is a database which supports vector. And yeah, I love speaking. I do love conducting sessions to pass the knowledge which we have learned to the next generation, so that they all be passionate and then learn about multiple things in their own, putting hands on and then understanding the fundamentals. So yeah, let me move on. So the agenda is like we'll be talking about the vector search, Azure AI search, the RAG fundamentals, and mostly the MCP. So now let us get into. So in today's world, or in yesterday's world, I would say, I mean, we might have, the moment we talk about a search, say we might have written queries in the database, right? You all might have done the various programmings and you might have done a query. And the query is like, suppose if you have a word called, say, a pizza, and if you are trying to search on it, you might say select star from the table where keyword equal to, say, your item type equal to item equal to pizza, right? Or you might say like some percentage pi is a whatever, right? So basically, what we are trying to do so far is like a search for search for something wherein a part or a partial search or a part of the keyword exists, and we would like to retrieve those searches. That was the model which we have followed, and we all realized like it might return back several unwanted results, and it might return back something which is close to the pizza keyword, but still not. I mean, it may not bring certain other things which are closely related. So the requirement started like, suppose if in everything Amazon is the standard. I would always say the moment we talk about developing a website for your organization, for your college, everywhere, our benchmark should be Amazon, because we are all familiarized with Amazon. If you want to order something, if you want to have a look at a product, you just go to the Amazon, and the way Amazon gives back all the what you call the landscape to understand things, it's so beautiful. So we can also do that. We are not saying we should create another Amazon, but what I'm trying to say is like, whenever we do any hackathons, any program, anything, even any individual of this organization, if they are trying to do any hands-on, let us say like, I mean, we need to do what is provided at an Amazon level. Why? Because everybody, the user ask, right, and ask for a user, the benchmark has set to an Amazon. Hey, why it is not like this? I would like, the moment I type on it, I should get all the list of items, and then I should be able to search on it. Even though I search for something, it should automatically correction. It should do a spelling correction, and it should bring the related items back. So everything, I mean, I need to get it, right? I need something to protect from my rain. If I search that, it will get back a number lab, which has nothing to do with the search, the rain protection or anything, but still it brings up a number lab. So everywhere things started thinking about like a benchmark as an Amazon. Now, why and how come we can achieve this? So it is pretty common or pretty understood, like we cannot search and get back a result which is utilizing a text search. Okay. Then came a semantic search. We started ranking for a search. There are several, the moment a keyword has been generated, we generate a synonyms kind of or something, and then we generate a ranking, and then we started fetching like based on a ranking of a particular item that has been searched, and then bring the closest nearby kind of. That itself, that also was not enough. Okay. So then we started thinking about an AI-based search or a vector-based search. And what is a vector-based search? So let us get into some details, and then we will come to the actual topic of the what we call the RAG. So I mean, we are saying like one of the importance of RAG, or why do we need RAG? I mean, we have a chat GPT which gets the information from the web, right? The moment I search for, hey, I have a pain at my elbow, what are the causes? If I ask for it, it checks for maybe several medical sites and crawlers and everything. It does that and it brings up the data. How do I search for something, say, in the Nirmala College? If there is an option, there are certain documents which talks about the courses of a college, right? You are offering, and there might be MCA, BCA, the engineering, and I'm just searching, like, can I get the details about the MCA course specific to the maths related subjects? If I search that, it might be tough to bring a data for a chat GPT to get inside something from an enterprise or an organization which are not exposed to the outside world. Think about something which is not exposed. I'm not talking about the things which are exposed, but what I'm trying to say is, like, there are things which cannot expose, right? Every enterprise, in my organization, UST, there are several internal documents which cannot be exposed. Every company, every organization have that. But how can I bring a chat GPT to search for those kind of private knowledge, right? So basically what we are trying to say by RAG is, like, I wanted an LLM like a chat GPT or anything to a chat GPT's front end, calling an LLM, and then trying to access a private enterprise or a private database or a private store wherein I have files, I have databases, I have documents, I have videos, whatever, right? But which is not exposed to the public world. But I would like to get the feature of chatting and trying to see whether, as I earlier asked, right? I mean, get some details about the maths topic in an MCA course. So that is possible, or that is made possible with something called as a RAG, and which is called as the retrieval augmented generation. So let us get into the details about it. Retrieval is basically, like, when we talk about retrieval, it's retrieving the data from your database. So say a vector search, and if you does that, I'll talk about vector search in detail in a minute, but think about, you did a search and you got some data. And once you get a data back, and assume that, as I asked earlier, get me some maths related topics about MCA, it might bring some topics about the maths, maybe some headlines or some, if it was a normal search kind of, it will bring back the same way what you have written in that PDF document, right? Maybe maths semester 1, syllabus maybe 1, the chapter 1, certain things, right, in an order. But it's not in an augmented way. See, the moment, why ChatGPT is so attractive, the moment we ask for something, it doesn't give a just one-liner or just a bullet points. It gives a descriptive data, right? First, probably, yeah, I do understand your question. Probably here are some of the answers. Probably you need more, you need to check more, but here are some of the things which I feel like it gives as if somebody is trying to give a soothing answer with all the comfort levels and everything. Basically, your data, which is retrieved back from a database, it tries to do an augmentation. We say, like, I mean, we applying the masala kind of, right, or sugar coating kind of. So everything it will do, it will augment your data, which is brought back from a database. It will do all the sugar coating. It will make it very pleasant, and then it will generate an output. It will, again, for everywhere, all of these processes, you need an LLM. So we cannot do anything without an LLM, because in order to do the sugar coating, you need an LLM. In order to do a vector search, you need an LLM to convert a normal text to a vector. So I'll talk about everything. So basically, what we are trying to say is like, you need multiple LLMs to retrieve the information that is based on vector search. You need an LLM to augment it, to make it sugar-coated and present it, and then you return back and generate it. We call it as chat completions, and then present it to the user. So in a RAG, this is what is exactly called as a RAG. And mostly we talk about RAG in a private environment, because in the other environments, things are already there, and web is open for any crawler search and everything. But in the case of a private field, every enterprise or every organization, any institutions like Nirmala, if somebody wants to search for something inside the which is not exposed to the outside world, you utilize something called as a RAG.
Matthew, sir, may I interrupt?
Absolutely, yeah.
So let me introduce myself. I'm Jimmy from Vishujyoti. I have a doubt. So
Yeah,
can we use this RAG model in the SDLC lifecycle?
What do you mean by can we use that in the SDLC life? I didn't get you.
I mean, I'm talking about the software development lifecycle. Could we use such type of models in the real-time scenario for project development?
Not really.
Like,
See,
like
SDLC
the coding and all those integration could be just used, and it could be our effort, human effort, could be reduced to a greater extent. I'm asking about that.
See, that is already there, right? See, in order to reduce your SDLC, you have your co-pilots, you have your cloud and everything, right? Gemini, you can integrate with your VS Code or any environment cloud or anything, right? So that is already there. That all are specific to your coding level, right? This is something we are talking about data. We wanted to pull some data from your database, which is protected within your organization. And how do I do that? I don't want to write a query and figure out and it returns back some specifics, or so that is slightly different. To answer your question, this is not something which is coming up in an SDLC fashion. This is something after your whole development, you have the whole data available. Okay. Now, how do you expose it generally? You write some APIs, and then probably you might give a UI, a web, and then try to call the specific APIs. And when you call that API, you need a method signature. You need certain values to be passed. You need to have a metadata. You need to other two, like a text or a string or a whatever, right? A lot of things are there. So, in a nutshell, that's not the area where RAG can be applied. This is totally on a RAG is for your private data for an LLM to act upon. Probably once I get into the details, you might get a more understanding of it. So if you have still more questions, definitely after some time you can just bring it back.
So a person need not be aware about the relational database schema.
Nothing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So now let me good point. So basically, when I say RAG, it's not only pulling the information from a database. We are talking about a storage or a landscape of storage. You might have stored your policies, say, for example, what do you call some of the policy, what policy, like a compliance or anything, right? You think about your course admission related one, fees related policies, any policy. Those are all documents, right? PDF documents. It might not be there in a database. There might be Excels. There might be normal text files. You can apply RAG for everything in one shot. Okay, and I'll talk about MCP sometime later down the lane, and that is slightly different. And that is the whole reason I wanted to bring both of these, why RAG and why MCP. So let me drill some more down so that you will get more info. Okay, so RAG is not only for database, RAG is for private informations, and you can apply an LLM. You can think about a ChatGPT for your enterprise. That is the simplest definition I can think about. Okay, so here it is. So we are talking about not only the databases. Basically, we are talking about documents, unstructured data. It can be PDF, doc, PPT, MD files, the help files, HTML, images. there are ways. I mean, I believe like you can even search for a text which is inside the image. Azure AI search will do that. I think you might have done. The students might have, if they have done any hackathons, you might have done using the Tesseract library or computer vision, everything, right? You might have extracted the contents of an image, and then you can, like an OCR kind of optical character recognition, you extract the text of an image and then do it. The AI search will do that. Even the search, the vector search, and the search functionality, right? It will do all those. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Today's search is like it's a broader category. It's not a keyword kind of. It's not a synonym kind of. And that is the power of vector. You can just vectorize anything, and you will appreciate that once we know what is a vector kind of. Let me move on. So here is the simplest use case of a RAG solution or an AI assistant. A user is asking a question. So think about, you are typing something in the ChatGPT, and it will go to the browser, and then so first thing is like you are typing a plain question here. You are not typing a vector or anything. You are just typing, hey, which is the beautiful recent Malayalam movie launched, right? That's a plain question, plain English question. It will go to the AI assistant. That's a simple web chatbot. And then what it does is like, it needs to send that to a model, and then you need to vectorize this question. So whatever I have asked for, it needs to vectorize it first. That is done by an LLM. So think about an LLM. I'm just showing an OpenAI here as an LLM, but think about, you can use any LLMs. Okay, in OpenAI, I'm focused on Azure here because I'm an Azure guy. There might be folks you might be utilizing AWS or GCP. There are similar models available in everywhere, and Azure has several models, and Azure, a lot of things are free to a great extent. And if you are trying to do some exercises, all the faculties, I would encourage, request all the students to start a subscription either in AWS. And if you want to learn cloud and AI and everything, you need to have a subscription today itself. Without that, just by going to the Udemy and learning, or going to the YouTube, you will never learn you need to put some hands-on. Unless you do a hands-on, you will not learn. Okay, so Azure, the cost, don't worry about the cost. You might need a credit card, but I'm not sure. There are options to get a student concessions as well. You need to upload your ID card, and then you might get a student concession. And there are, once you get the student concessions, there are at least minimum of $200 per month, I think per year kind of free, or even per month to a great extent. So utilize all those and try to get an account, and always check your cost as well. Never create a virtual machine or anything in a cloud environment, any cloud. That will be costly. There are PaaS environments, what you call platform as a service features like Azure Functions. In the case of a Lambda, in the case of an AWS, it's Azure AWS Lambda, or GCP, that is Cloud Run Functions. There are a lot of things. Okay, so PaaS. So try to get into, create a subscription. You might hardly end up in bill of say 100 rupees or 200 rupees max. Most of the things are free. So try to do all this. Even I'm talking about this one, which I'm talking about. There is a feature called integrated vectorization, which I'm talking about in a moment. You can do that as well. So the costs are very minimal. Do a hands-on, take a subscription, and then try to watch some videos. It will guide you what needs to be done. Exactly go through that. Try to do first level through the video, and then increment, and then bring it. And I would say develop something for your organization, the same RAG, so that somebody from the organization can search for it. They can make a simple project like a ChatGPT kind of a UI, make an API call to the LLMs, and then utilize a RAG and do that. Okay. So anyway, let me cover up. So first thing, you have asked a question, you type something, and then first thing you need to do is like you need to vectorize it. Once you vectorize, then we call it as text embeddings. So basically, this is like you are converting your normal text to a embeddings, and that will make into a vector. Okay, I'll show you how does that look like. And that is returned back by the LLM, one of the LLM, which converts the text to a vector. And what it does is like, then it will run a vector search. Or suppose if you are saying for say something called as an electronic, okay, a keyword called electronic, you will search for electronic and you might search for similar ones, right? But in order to compare that, you cannot type an electronic as a text and compare against a vector. So what you need to do, you need to convert that electronic as the keyword into a vector and then search in the database, which already has a vectorized data. I'll tell you how you can vectorize it, but what I'm trying to say is it will do a comparison now, and it will compare, and it will run a vector search. It will get back a similarity results. Here is the fundamental and the beautiful way of the concept. It gives not the kind of matching with a keyword kind of matching. It gives a similarity, and this similarity is the fundamental. The vector search is the fundamental search which it does in order to bring back the similarity. And once it gives back the similarity search, as I told, right, now it is retrieved. The first part, R is done. Now that result, I'll not be able to return back to the user now. I need to send to another LLM to beautify it, to augment it, and say, there are several things which you can do. I understand your question. This is one of the beautiful way to do that. Why don't you try this? Have you tried this? Do you want me to proceed? It maintains a lot of things. It maintains a context. It maintains several related information, and it will say, wait, don't return back now. You augment it, and then what it does is like, it does something called as a completion, which is like the G part of it. I mean, in the RAG, R-A-G, it does that, and then it generates that natural language answer. See, it was all playing with vector. Initially, we asked the natural language, it converted to the vector, it returned back to the, it did a vector search, it figured out whether that vector is matching or similarity, it returned back a similarity results, you send it to another LLM for augmenting it. So there are different LLMs who are specialized for all these, okay? So you can, the moment we say want to augment, it may not be the same vector which you use for vectorizing it. Multiple LLMs are there. Now, once it is completed, you are returning a natural language results back to the user, and it will show the answer back to the user. So this is the fundamental flow of a vector search, or the moment you do a ChatGPT search. Ultimately, this is one of the things which is happening. Okay. Now let us get into drill down. How does all this magic happens with respect to the vector, and what is it all about? Think about, I mean, we are talking about a human. Okay. So when I say human, hope you can see me in my camera, right? Think about human as a point here in the space, and it has a X, Y, and Z direction. I mean, you have a 3 coordinates, and this is human, right? And now think about an elephant. So when I type and when I convert that elephant keyword into a vector, I'll get another vector. And how do it might represent somewhere else. Okay. So at my left hand, that space, that point in the space is human. And at my right hand, this point in my space is the elephant. Now I am doing so one is that in the DB, that is one is vector 1 and the other one is vector 2. Now what I'm doing is like, I'm searching for a person, and person is something which is at a different point in the space. Okay. So I have a human here, I have an elephant here, and a person somewhere here, anywhere. Okay. Now what it does is like, everything is in vector. Now go back to your school days, wherein you might have studied something like, you do a cross product of the vectors, right? V1, V2 into cos theta, that is the cross product which we have studied. And it does that over here. Now, the human into person, it does a cross product, and V1 into V2. Elephant into person, it does a cross product, V1 into V2, and then it gives a sum of it. It returns a vector product, and it results a sum. If you see the sum, compare for the largest value. So what is the inference over here? The inference is the person is matching to the human rather than person matching to the elephant. Person is also matching to the elephant because maybe we have 2 legs, but the elephant has 3 legs, but it has a body, everything. So it matches to some extent, but it's the closest match is towards the human. So now vector product, its sum is now there is one more thing. It returns an angle called now this is in the code. I mean, this code, I have written some time back for the movies. So this is for a person and a vector. A similar one, if you are searching for a movie, if you have a movie database, English, Malayalam, Hindi, and everything, and if you search for something, when I say search, I'm not searching for a movie name or anything. I'm saying, can you let me know the superficial movie in Malayalam which has released recently? There might not even the keyword called superficial or anything, but still that will automatically vectorize it and search it, and it will give me the names like Loka or whatever, right? It gives back. So this is the query which it does behind the scenes, and then it does one more thing called the vector similarity. And here is the one which we talked about, the cos theta. So there are vectors, and there are angles to these. So when I talk about the previous one, the V1 and V2, for the sum, there is an angle between these two. There is a closest angle, and between the elephant and person, the angle is slightly wide enough. And then the cos theta, so the V1, V2 cos theta, when theta is small, the cos theta is near to 1, which has the maximum value, and hence we get the result as we will conclude like when we search for a person, it will return the result of a human. There is no keyword called person there in the database. So no synonyms. I mean, we haven't done any semantic rankings or anything in the database. The only thing we did is like we vectorized human, we vectorized person, we compared between the two vectors, and then we did a cross product. We got the sum, we compared, and then we got the larger value. We measured the theta, and then we said like, hey, this is when I search for person, return back the human. A beautiful way of doing a vector search. And this is the fundamental thing of a vector search. Probably, I'm not sure whether you might have got the fundamentals of the vector, and you might appreciate what all things we learned long back in our school and college days, the V1, V2, cos theta and everything. So that has a meaning. Even I learned very recently. So I mean, I scrolled all the marks there at that time. When I was teaching my daughter, I talked about all these, but when I realized like this is the whole point of vector search and why it is so important. And there are several other things I don't want to talk about. There is a Cosmos DB, there is a DISCAN, and slightly inner level topics. So if I go to that level, you will not be able to cover everything. So this is the fundamental of a vector search. So think about the moment you type a ChatGPT or anything, it does a lot of things behind the scenes and then do it. Okay. So now here, when we did this in the previous, the Cosmos DB and everything, what I did was like, it did a vector search because I vectorized that human earlier before chatting. I vectorized it and kept it in the database. Only then you can compare. Okay. So whenever you bring up a new document, you need to vectorize and keep it. So that is a process. So your policy has been updated. Your PDF has updated, then you need to update that into a new vector. You have to update that and vectorize it and then bring it over here. Okay. So, and then do the search. Cool. Any questions on vector search before I move? Okay.
Sir,
yeah.
May I insert once again?
Yeah, proceed.
I would like to raise a question which has no relevance with the aspect which you have mentioned right now. This is just out of curiosity, nothing else.
That's fine.
So please just take in that sense only. The thing is that when you do such type of query formulations, is there a possibility of data breaching at some point of time?
No, when you say data breach, we are not taking the data out of your enterprise. What we are trying to achieve over here is like, you would like to get a ChatGPT like results when you search in the web, okay? inside your organization. So somebody is coming to Nirmala College and say, or Nirmala College website or anything, and they are saying search for something. The data resides in the Nirmala College database, which is not exposed to the ChatGPT. Okay. So but at the same time, you wanted to bring some data, what we call in a fashion that ChatGPT returns back. So there is no data breach. You are not exposing your data. You don't want to expose your data, first of all, right? That is the whole point of bringing the RAG over here. Otherwise, ChatGPT can even crawl your website and get the data. Think about a situation in UST. We have lot of internal data which cannot be exposed, but at the same time, we need people to search for it, right? And how do I want to search? I don't want to normally do a flat single search or a text-like search. I want to do a ChatGPT-like search, as I told. That has become the new Amazon now. So I would like to bring a RAG into my organization, bring back a result, augment it, and then bring it. Now the data breach which you're talking about is like when you talk about you are sending that vector and then getting it augmented. Of course, you need to have certain models. Either you can, that is again, when we talk about an Azure, right? So see, every LLM resides in a cloud. Forget about the data breach or anything. Every LLM, if you want to bring it, unless you have your own LLM which you are running within the premise, you cannot run your own LLM. You can if you have a huge what you call memory, your compute power, everything. Only then you can run it. But how are we protecting it? Our own. We are not going to the DeepSeek of China, but we are going to the DeepSeek of Azure, right? Wherein Azure protects that. Azure says, like, although we are offering all the LLMs, and if you are bringing your data, that is data privacy, we take care about the extreme privacy. And we have to rely on LLMs. There is no other way. Now, as Nipun was mentioning about, right, going forward is all AI. Going forward is all LLMs. Going forward is like MCP, all these vector and everything. You need to rely on LLM. And there are LLMs provided by major players, Azure, AWS, and GCP, because they bringing a pool of all the LLMs. There are hundreds of LLMs. You can use Llama, blah, 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 everything is there. But if you wanted to trust somebody and then say, okay, my organization, my enterprise should not do any breach of data, bring it over.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions before I move on? Okay, so this is the way the vector data has been stored. So if I say Star Wars as a movie database, it will get stored in the database over here. It will have a title. So if you type search for a Star Wars, it will still bring it, but it has a related meaning or a vectorized data, because of which I can say, can I bring some Thor movies, whatever, right? Something related to any of those. If I say, it will still bring the data back. Okay. So yeah, the indexing, this can, these are slightly, I mean, see, basically there is a Cosmos DB, and the Cosmos DB has some algorithm. So one of the point, anyway, I'll just mention about this point over here. Every database, so every database does not support vector. That is fundamental thing. Okay, there are only certain databases. I think if you have done, if the students might have done some R&D, vectorizing and everything, Chroma DB, they might have used it. There is in the SQL world, Azure SQL is there, SQL Server is there. It's a vectorized vector supporting database. Cosmos DB is a vector supporting database. PostgreSQL is a vector supporting database. So there are several databases which are supporting the vectors. Or in other words, you cannot store this vector. Even though you store it, you need to search for it, right? So more than storing, you need to do a vector search. It needs to understand the vector which is incoming versus this, and then it needs to compile and say, like, hey, these are close proximity. That needs a capability. So there is a DISCAN protocol which Microsoft utilizes, and then it utilizes that to arrive at the indexing, arrive at the indexes which are closest proximity and everything, and then it returns the data. Anyway, let me move on. Any questions? Just talk about it. I am not seeing anybody's raising the hand or anything. So please stop me, and then I'll stop in. Anyway, I'll continue. So these are all the things which are happening inside the vector product. Okay, vector, as I told, right, the person into the vector and the other one, and when multiplying the vector value and arriving at a order by cosine distance kind of, it gives back the result. Now, vectorizing the documents. So one of the things, as I told earlier when I talked about all the human was a vectorized information which I have updated in the Cosmos. Likewise, the first process in order to start with is vectorize your documents and then store it in a vector supported database. So think about, you have a PDF, you are uploading your policy, Nirmala's engineering's policy or an MCA's policy, whatever, you vectorize it utilizing an LLM and then store it back to the DB. So now you have a vector. Now anyone can search it, and once you search, you need to again vectorize that search, compare the vector, and then do it. Okay. So, and now updated ones. So there are different ways of doing it. Suppose this is at an enterprise wide, but in a one-time scenario, you may not use it. So think about a scenario for an enterprise. Every now and then there is a document being uploaded, right, and updated. So what it does is, like, Azure Cosmos DB has something called as a change field mechanism. The moment you update data, see, these are all the modern databases. So think about a scenario wherein earlier days, suppose we have a data updated, we used to run a batch job to see whether data has been updated. Every interval we need to run it. Now, instead of a pull, it is a push mechanism now. Or the moment you update data in a database, the Cosmos DB or DBs like Cosmos DB is capable of triggering and saying, like, hey, one data has been updated. Here is the data. Do you want to do something? That's the way it indicates. It does a push. And this is an Azure function. And Azure function is equivalent to a Lambda in AWS or a Cloud Run function in GCP. And it can run it. What it can do is, like, it can take that data, do a better processing, do several stuff, and then update the data back in a cleaner fashion. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And why does all this? Within a database, all these processes complex. It takes a lot of compute power. It's costly. The Azure functions or Lambda, it's dead cheap. So basically, in Azure, you get 1 million function executions per month. It's totally free. That's why I told, even if you run for anything, you will never get charged. Azure function is totally free. 1 million function executions per month. Similar with Lambda and with Cloud Run functions. And again, database, one of the Cosmos DB is free. You need to opt for a free tier. You can run it. You can, and there are different ways of Cosmos DB. In case you need tomorrow, if some of you have any doubt in configuring or anything, and somebody wants to contact me, you can shoot an email. I can help you to some extent. And then there is a serverless Cosmos DB where you can play around. Even with 65 million hits, it will cost you hardly $5. So which means, like, in your whole, at least for the next 2-3 years, you might even spend $1 or $2. The databases and everything are so cheap, and the only thing is you need to optimize and create it in a proper manner. Okay, let me move on. And vectorizing, of course, you need a help of an LLM. Okay, now, yeah, so the moment, as I told, one document, suppose you upload a PDF, a new policy, what it does is, like, it will trigger a function, it will fetch that document, it will properly put it into an LLM, it will return the vector embeddings, and then it will update as a vector. Now anyone can search. Okay, so this is the process of any documents getting updated. So basically here, the Cosmos DB does not support updating a document. I mean, when I say document, like generally you update a PDF or anything in a blob storage. Cosmos DB does not support a file storage or anything. It support only text. So this functionality is there even in a blob storage as well. Once you upload a blob storage, it can trigger a function, it does the same, and it can update the vector. Suppose if you are updating a normal plain text, okay, and information, you can vectorize it in the same fashion. It will trigger a function, vectorize it, return back, and then update it over here. Okay. In this process, we will not be doing any augmentation. We are just vectorizing it. Yeah, in the case of a blob, it will be just a blob storage, and then suppose if it is a file, it will what it does is like it breaks into multiple pages, and each page, and it will index of each is done, and then it stores it in a vectorized format and then continue. So this is basically a PDF. What it happens behind the scenes, it multiplies into pages, and each page of the PDF, there will be multiple pages, right? Each page will be a section. Each will be vectorized information, which will be stored in a document. So I was showing some vectorized information, right? One document will contain one page basically, and it can contain several items. Okay. So what an LLM knows is like only whatever. See, this is like if it is not on the public internet or very recently updated, LLM doesn't know. LLM always, if you in the chat GPT, if you type for something very recent news or anything, unless that got updated as a vectorized one or updated into their database, it may not be able to fetch it instantly. It might take some while. So what LLM knows is only this much, but at the same time, there are several information at the public and internet and everything. It will utilize that and augment it, and then it will give you a beautiful UI and output. Okay. Now here is the way the numerical representation. Suppose if you type for search for a pizza or anything, it will convert to vector and text embeddings, and it will completion, and then it does and there are image generations as well, which creates image, and it will give you an augmented image. Anyway, I think vector is clear, I believe, right? In case of any doubts, I'll share the PPT even in case required. Let me know. You can go in detail, and so this is the final slide for the RAG. Basically, you ask a question, you vectorize it, and then once you vector, you create into a vector, and then you will return back. You will store that. You will compare it. Okay, you will do a search, and then once you get a results back, you will not give to the user instantly. Instead, you will get back the similarity, and then you augment it using another LLM. Then you return back to the user, and it will give you a beautiful picture. Okay. Now, integrated vectorization. Any questions? We are already running short of time, so okay, I'll just cover up this, and then so in order to do all these, right, you require some lot of effort, and to some extent some effort in order to vectorize it. But there are a lot of sample codes available in the GitHub, and do it. Even I just extracted a sample code from the GitHub. I ran it. It worked perfectly fine. I was able to search it. So you can do all these things, okay, and try to do it in a very small. Don't give more compute power or anything, lambdas and everything. It will be much simpler. There are several other ways of doing it. Okay, Microsoft has come up with something called as an integrated vectorization, which is very beautiful concept, and you can utilize for your organization, for Nirmala even. And then what you can do is like it provides a UI for everything, and you set up a connection. So you upload your files or your PDFs or anything. You can select utilizing what you need to vectorize it. It will give you suggestions. So for vectorizing, these are all the best models, and then you can select one of them, and then you vectorize it. And then what we'll do is like there is an indexing which you need to select, because based on after vectorization, it will automatically index, and based on the index only, it will return back the data. So index is it will figure out, and then it will automatically figure out and say like, hey, here is and this is a search explorer where you can search for, and then it will give back the result back. It will tell you what is the document size, how many are there, what is the index size, and everything. Okay, and it's much simpler, very easy. You can do without knowing anything. Just watch a video and then do it. It will not cost you much for a simple document. And then what you can do is like there is a search explorer. You can say, how do I fire up my stove? There is no field called firing up my stove or anything, but still it will give you a return back. So you can try this within your organization. And this is you can get it from an Azure subscription, connect to your, upload your documents and everything, and then try it. Okay. Yeah. So let me move on to MCP. I think it's already 7:35. Yeah. So I believe most of you might have heard, or some of you might have heard about MCP, and this is the kind of latest buzzword. And this has been launched by the cloud, CLA UDE, and by Anthropic. So basically, what they have given is like they have released something as a protocol. Now, before talking about anything, let me give some pictures so that it will give you an understanding about it. So what is an MCP? MCP is like for an LLM or an agent, okay? We have a lot of agents now, agentic AI. I think Ranjit will be talking about all those, the AI and agentic AI and everything probably. We have LLMs or agents. An agent cannot talk directly to a bank or a cloud provider or anything. This can talk to some models in the web or everywhere, but think about, I need to talk to an agent, an LLM agent, like a RAG kind of. I need to talk to your organization, say Nirmala Institute of Technology. This is the organization, and it has its own information, like your secret informations, your documents, and everything. And now somebody I want to search from outside, and you wanted to give some results back to the outside. So there comes something called as an MCP server. And what I will do is like, if somebody is not talking, can you be on mute, please?
Dear participants, kindly mute your microphones. If you have any queries, you may post in the chat box. Participants, please.
I think they might have unknowingly. Anyway, so basically, what it does. Let me just move on. Oh, I think. Can you mute them? Can anybody, the admin, I think they can mute them.
Sir, Matthew, sir, I think you are mute. Sir, please.
Oh, I think I unknowingly. Sorry. Hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Oh, thanks for letting me know. Okay. So basically, what it happens is like, okay, this one I was saying, like every computer, you need multiple ports, and there are no defined standard. There are defined standard for everything, but you need to have all these standards in order to plug in multiple stuffs, right? You need a serial port, an Ethernet connection, USB, everything. Now think about now there is a C port, okay, USB-C type adapter and C port, wherein think about a scenario, there is an external box. You can plug in all the rest of the things over here, but to the computer, I have just one port exposed. So this is Nirmala Institute. You raised an MCP server, okay, and you have only one interface or one entry, okay, and the rest all will be handled by the MCP. And what is this MCP? MCP has several. You created a server. It talks to an LLM. It does communicate. Say, for example, if you plug in a serial port or an HDMI cable, this MCP server will communicate or transform those HDMI into a C port. If you plug in a USB, it will transform, and then it will send you the appropriate signals to the C type, right? Everywhere for Nirmala, it doesn't need to know whether I need to worry about hundreds of things. I have everything within me, but what I'm trying to say is, in Nirmala, I have exposed an MCP server. So outside, a serial port can be connected, HDMI can be connected, USB can be connected, but the MCP server, it acts as a protocol which converts, which inputs everything, anything you can talk about, and then it converts, and then it sends you the appropriate signals to your organization, or to your app, or to your cloud, or to a database, or anything. It's a beautiful concept. See, the concept was there, but an MCP server exposing a server is a beautiful concept. Now, I'll tell you a simple example. Zerodha, I think probably, I'm not sure to what extent you might be involving in a stock market and everything. Kite provided by Zerodha is a beautiful another what they call stock trading platform, right? Suppose if I have some stocks, you might have taken some stocks, and I have some, say for example, some random stocks, maybe Kitex or any stocks. Okay, I'm not saying any specific. If we have some stocks and maybe HDFC Bank or anything, and I wanted to check up from a user's perspective, I would like to know which of my stocks are would you think will give me better results in the next 5 years or 2 years, or do you think whether I should move to some different stocks or anything? I'm talking about some random questions which I'm asking. Okay. Now, how does generally what you do generally? I'll go to the Kite app, the mobile app. I'll search for my current, the earnings ratio or anything about my stock separately. So I need to make several API calls, and there are API calls exposed by Zerodha. Now think about this as Zerodha. Okay, this is an MCP server exposed by Zerodha, the Kite MCP server. Now this has several APIs, but as a user who is sitting outside, I don't know about which is the API to be called or anything. I will talk to, or I'm putting in a chat bot and say, hey, get me the top 10 the better stocks for me, or in my portfolio. See, what I'm trying to say is, when you say model context protocol, we are talking about something called as a word called context. So a chat GPT bringing something specific to a context, there comes the model context protocol. So I am not searching how Kitex is doing. I am searching in my portfolio of the Kite. Kitex is one of the stock. HDFC is another stock. Probably I might have some startup hour or whatever, right? Which of the stocks are giving better results for me? Which of my stocks? When I say my stock, it does an authentication. It does understand who am I. It analyzes which are the portfolio of stocks in my context. Then it does call an LLM. It calls its own API database and everything. Then it gets back a result and saying, hey, your Kitex is doing good. Your HDFC probably maybe it was returning back 8% in the past 3 years, whatever. All these informations, you are not coding an API. You don't know a select query, nothing, right? And this has a lot of APIs. I didn't know anything. MCP server converted everything. Okay, let me proceed. It will give you. So this is the fundamental concept of an MCP, a context specific, but a protocol and related to my model, and utilizing a model and then related to my context. So here are some quick pictures. So it will give you some better understanding. I think so. So here is the thing: you have an LLM, you have a ChatGPT. Okay, you are writing for something. What's in your mind today? You wanted to fly. Okay, you can chat anything and think about something. You can name it as Fly GPT, and then I would like to fly. If you are flying, I would like to fly to North London. It will go to the LLM. It will return back and say, see, these are all the suggestions. You can return back. There is a located from here, 20 minutes departure, and then you need to take the next one, whatever, right? Several things it will give you. But this is not, this is kind of process. Now I need to plan myself again. These are all some of the information I need to plan myself. What next? What next I can get? So there are new things which came up, like an agent. So I'm saying I would like to fly to North London. an agent will try to utilize LLMs, and then it will try to crawl multiple air sites. It will try to see which are all the sites which are going to the North London, and with my timings and the seats available, everything. See over here, outbound flight. Here is the great news. It's all booked. We are saying like he might have said like, I would like to fly, but please try a booking if it is at a night time or a cheapest rate or whatever, right? The agent has done this. Okay. So now agent need to know how to crawl to these sites, and then they need to call the corresponding APIs, because Joy Air has, I mean, it's a site, it exposes some APIs for the public. So, but we need to adhere to the standards. So if you make the next one, I'll be making some tools, and then I'll be, these tools will call the APIs. So the agent will call some tools, and these tools will call the corresponding APIs and book the result, book it, get back the result, and then return it. See, this will be the, if you behind the scenes, it will pass a curl command or an HTTP call. These are all the, for Joy Air, this is the payload which needs to be passed. For a Deca Air, Drac Air, this will be the information it needs to be passed. Flight info, here it's flights, here it's detailed flights, whatever, right? Every API is different. Now, here comes the beauty of it. Think about, we are exposing a model context protocol. This is a protocol and it's a standard like a USB or a C port, wherein you don't need to know about, I don't need to worry about all these API calls. What it says is like the model context will worry about it. So Joy Air will expose an MCP. Okay. Joy Air it was exposing an API, but now Joy Air says like, I do have an MCP. So you don't need to worry about passing the APIs and it has to be a string, this has to be a number or anything. You don't need to worry about anything. You just chat it from your chat bot. Okay. My model will convert that into this format. I'll take care. And then it will call the APIs. So beautiful concept, right? I don't need to know anything. Our models will, so you need to expose. So the Joy Air need to expose an MCP. So this is another paradigm shift which is happening. Everybody's talking about exposing an API, exposing a model context protocol. So if you if you search for the most popular model context protocols, there are GitHub protocols, there are Figma, there are several things. Probably I can, if time permits, I can just browse and show you. Just search for it. There are several things are available. Every company in the YouTube, if you type like Kite MCP server, you will get several videos, how to set it up from a VS Code, how you can do that, several things you can get it. So basically, the job becomes very easy. I don't need to know the fundamentals of all these APIs. And see, this is an API call. The other one, it might in turn call a file. It might in turn call a database. I don't need to know anything. My MCP will take care. That's what they are saying. So everywhere they expose an MCP and then that's it. So now what will happen? Now I'm writing the same thing. It goes to an agent. Agent will pass that information to the model context. And model in turn pass it to the Joy Air or Drac Air, corresponding models. And similarly, suppose if I want to book a hotel, it will have another agent, or this agent, after booking the flights, it will pass it to the next agent. It will call the corresponding Marriott, Holiday, their own model controls protocols. I don't need to know the full details of Marriott API or Holiday Inn API or the Book My Show. Book My Show, what it does, it has several, it makes several APIs to individual theaters databases, right? It's connected to multiple databases. Every theater, they have their own database to some extent, most of them, and they have a copy of it in the Book My Show. So the moment you click on Book My Seat, it updates there. And now I need to know, the Book My Show need to know what is the API which I need to call for, say, if it needs to book in PVR in Lulu, it needs to know the API call it needs to follow. There are hundreds of things. Think about PVR exposed in MCP. No need to worry about anything. MCP will take care. I just need to call that and say, this is the information, book 4 seats for me at noon time and everything. It will automatically convert that into an API and then book it for me. Beautiful concept. So model context protocol, it's launched by Cloud, CLA, UDE, and Anthropic. And this has become a standard. Google, in the recent I/O, last month or even 3-4 weeks back, they launched MCP for MCP servers for Gemini, and everybody, there are Microsoft servers that everybody appendix slides. I don't want to get into all the details. So these are I have kept it for some other presentation. You don't need that in case if you want to.
Sir, may I interrupt?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So just a while before, when you mentioned about Book My Show, I don't know the exact date. In the 24 news channel, perhaps maybe 1 month ago, I came across a news that in southern part of Kerala, I hope you are aware that almost all the theaters in our
There was a
state.
case against monopoly. Right?
The thing is that for a specific theater, whenever a customer is trying to book a seat, it is always showing that the seat is occupied. And later on, after a close introspection and interrogation, it came to be revealed that that was targeted by the rivalry of that, what do you say, the theater. And they had made certain program that whenever a customer is trying to place a ticket, the seats always sheet completely occupied. And
Yeah.
finally,
Likewise, see, I understood. I mean, even this is the case
this
with the Uber.
was the case I was asking about data breaches and so on. So
No, this is not a data breach. This is like there is an agreement which they made, or they have made to make more money, basically, right? Book My Show, if you see the details about Book My Show, they make a contract and say no other providers will get an opportunity to what you call book the tickets at that particular ticket in that particular theater. That is the way they make a deal. So it's not like, say, in an aerospace, say cheap or in a flight, right? Delta Airlines, or think about Indigo Airlines. You can book Indigo from multiple sites, right? From multiple providers. Ultimately, it's all being booked at Indigo's database, and there is no restriction like I only can have the ownership of that database. Book My Show is doing that. Book My Show says, if I wanted to get into this, because of the monopoly, see, the same way Uber and everything was doing it, it's the same case. I mean, now law have to come up. That is not a data breach. There is no breach of data or anything. That is a policy violation, right? Which government has to take initiatives. Okay, that is a separate story. I just talked about the Book My Show in order to bring that MCP context, but nothing to do against the Book My Show or anything. So this is the MCP is the most. This was launched in the last Feb, about 6 months back or 5 months back. MCP concept. So it's good to learn. It's a buzzword in the industry, and so even students, everyone, if they wanted to do some hackathons and everything, this is one of the area. Creating an MCP server, it's not that easy, but there are tools and agents to create those. So yeah, there are hundreds of things happening in the world. RAG, you can do several things. The MCP, you can do other things. Yeah. So I'll stop sharing and let me know if you have any questions.
Dear participants, thank you, sir, for the session. Dear participants, if you have any queries, kindly post it in the chat box, or you may unmute your mic and ask it directly.
Hey, I expect at least a couple of questions, so that I just want to think like you all were attentive or at least not sleeping. So by the way, I mean, hope I was able to convince, right? I'm not sure to what extent I went to the level down of the students or teachers and everything, or I went up, I'm not sure. So yeah, try, you can, no question is a dumb question. So hope I was able to convey the latest trends in the market. And when I say the latest trends in the market, I would say it should be the latest trends in the college, in the academic as well, because only then, the moment you are coming out of it and then getting into an industry, you will not feel like, hey, something we have learned something very old and the industry is totally new kind of. Yeah, over to you. Any questions, please? You can ask anything. There is nothing right or wrong. It can be anything.
One in between, dear participants, the feedback form link has been shared in the chat. Some are complaining that they can't open it, but it's working. So kindly note your valuable feedbacks in the form. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no questions, that's fine. I mean, I hope you got the some understanding of it. I'm not sure to what extent you got it, but see, what we can do is, like, we can only trigger the with the new keywords and everything. It's all individually. You need to go to the Google and then what you call talk about it. I mean, search about it. Yes, Smita, please go ahead. Smita, I can't hear you. Probably we need to unmute and then. I think it was Smita who raised the hand, right? Or unknowingly she raised it? Yeah, Manu. Yeah, please go ahead. Whether they are not able to unmute, can somebody unmute and?
Sir, they can unmute their microphone, sir.
Oh, because I think they were raising the hand, but they were not. Can you chat in case if you are not able to speak? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I think we are on time. Yeah, back to you, Shari, in case, or Sharon.
Yes, sir. Sharon, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for the brainstorming session. Next, I invite Ms. Vidula Thomas, Assistant Professor, for the vote of thanks. Ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of everyone here, I wish to thank our esteemed resource person, Mr. Matthew James, for sharing his valuable time and expertise with us today. Your insightful presentation on RAG, that is Retrieval Augmented Generation, and MCP, Model Context Protocol, it's a protocol for AI, particularly LLM, to connect with external data and tools, was really fruitful. The practical advice you shared will undoubtedly help us in our future endeavors. Thank you once again, sir, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to contribute to this FTP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So once again, on behalf of the management, all the faculty members and all the participants, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to your valuable presence and such a brainstorming session that you handled for the participants today. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think.
you.
Thank you. I
Pardon,
can
sir?
drop off, I believe, right? Is there anything more?
Dear participants, if you have any queries, you may kindly contact sir or post in the chat box. Otherwise, sir, we may wind up the session and move on to the next.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And let me know in case of any questions later if you feel. I'll be more than happy to address that. I can send some links or the PPT or anything. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do my best.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to our second session of the first day, we have amongst us Dr. Ranjit Paulos, Principal Engineer, AI Gen AI, UST Kochi. Hearty welcome to you, sir, to this session as well as to Nirmala College fraternity.
Thank
Dr.
you. Thank you.
is a technical leader with over 18 years of experience in data science, machine learning, AI, Gen AI, and bioinformatics. He has led the delivery of innovative, high-impact AI/ML solutions across hundreds of projects spanning diverse industries, including pharma, biotech, healthcare, BFSI, automotive, power and energy, oil and gas, logistics, and IT operations. Some of his key contributions include the development of AI/ML-driven platforms for drug discovery and toxicity prediction in healthcare, where his work enabled faster and more accurate virtual screening and safety assessments. In the IT operations space, he architectured Gen AI solutions for incident root cause analysis and intelligent automation workflows. His expertise also extends to customer churn prediction in telecom, demographic modeling in finance, predictive models for battery degradation in automotive applications, predictive maintenance in mining using IoT data, and product sentiment analysis in the retail domain. Sir holds a BTech, MSc, and PhD degrees in biotech and bioinformatics, with his doctoral research focused on machine learning for drug discovery. He is a prolific researcher and innovator with numerous scientific publications, white papers, patented solutions, and multiple accolades recognizing his excellence in both academia and industry. In addition to his technical accomplishments, Sir is thought leader and a mentor. He frequently participates in academic and industry workshops, often serving as a speaker or expert contributor. He actively engages with the academic community by sharing knowledge with students and supporting research and education initiatives. Sir, we are really honored to have you amongst us today. So over to you, sir, for the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, yeah, I understand you had a wonderful session from Matthew. He's my colleague in UST. I hope that was a wonderful session and it was a valuable session for all of you. Okay, so welcome you all to the Gen AI session.
Pardon me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Sure.
So could you raise the volume of your microphone? Is it possible?
Yeah, maybe I can keep my mic a bit closer. Is it better now?
Yes, sir, it's correct now. It's okay.
Okay, thank you for
Yes, sir.
confirming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so yeah, once again, welcome to the Gen AI session. And myself, Ranjit Paulos, I'm working as a principal engineer AI and Gen AI at UST. So in UST, I'm leading the research and development for the generative AI, agentic AI researchers for our intelligent automation wing called SmartOps. So I'm leading an AI ML team here of 25-member team here. And so basically my role is to lead the internal, as I said, the research and development, and also the AI projects for different customers across the globe. They are into different domains, actually. We're not just focusing on to any particular domain, but these clients are spread across the different domains. So yeah, that is my role here in UST. And yeah, so my education background is I'm from a biotechnology and bioinformatics education background. Okay, so I've done my BTech in biotechnology, master's in bioinformatics, and I've done my PhD in bioinformatics and machine learning. So that is my education background. I have now close to 19 years of industrial experience working with the machine learning, because I started my career working with the machine learning in healthcare. So I was in healthcare domain for around 8 years. Like I was into the drug discovery domain. I was building different machine learning models for the drug discovery, into some cancer research and all those. So spent around 8 years in healthcare biotechnology, and then moved to IT, joined Cognizant as a data scientist and project manager and different other companies. I worked in US for a couple of years, was leading AI ML projects there, and now, yeah, principal engineer AI and Gen AI at US State. So that is about me. And the agenda for today's session is, okay, we'll start with the generative AI. Means first to understand what is Gen AI, the fundamental concepts. We'll not go deeper into the theory part. Mainly, I'm trying to focus on the why Gen AI. Why do we require the Gen AI? Because that is something that you should understand first, right? So, like, where do we apply the generative AI? Then the technical, details come. Okay, and then you should understand the difference between the traditional AI and generative AI, because I started my career, as I said, working with the machine learning and the fundamental algorithms, data science part, and then seen the different transition like machine learning to deep learning and deep learning to generative AI, and now generative AI to agentic AI. So I'll try to give some examples from my experience, the differences, and what are the advantages that we'll get on moving to the generative AI and all those things. I'll try to cover that and not going deeper into the theory. Then I'll focus more on the industry applications. I have included, I think, 8-10 different industries, and I try to include the top applications of Gen AI across different domains. I cannot, give more examples because, as you know, there is no industry we can say that which is not using the generative AI for their different applications. Across every domain, the generative AI is now being used. Yeah, I have picked one or two examples for each industry. Then we'll move to the agentic AI. So, what is the difference between Gen AI or agentic AI? It's a common question I'm getting when I'm presenting across different industries and within USD itself. I'm getting that question many times. So I'll try to give maybe one or two examples and try to explain it, and maybe one or two use cases in different industries on the agentic AI, because I'm currently working on a few interesting projects for telecom as well on agentic AI. So maybe I can try to cover those as well. So this is my plan for today's session, everybody. Okay. So before I start, do you have any questions? Now, what I will do is I'll stop after 2 or 3 few slides. I'll stop and I'll pause it for your questions, and please feel free to ask your questions. Okay, so if no questions, then on the agenda, then let us get started with the generative AI, its capabilities, and its the foundation for the generative AI. Okay. So as I said, generative AI, it is, of course, it's a new branch in AI. And it has some differences compared to the previous versions of the different AI. So let us start with the rule-based systems. Okay. Let me take an example in, let's say, in manufacturing industry. You can think about the different machines connected to the IoT devices, and we are keep getting the sensor, the data from these machines. Okay, so think about that, and we don't have the machine learning or anything at that, or maybe even we don't even have the IoT at that. But somebody is monitoring that, for example, temperature or pressure, all those things all those parameters of that hardware, or maybe it can be a rotation, RPM, whatever it is. So when we say like rule-based system, right? So rule-based systems are like, you'll apply some threshold on, for example, in case of, as I said, like temperature, for example, right? So if it is crossing a particular limit, let's say 500 degrees Celsius or whatever, right? So the engineer who is working on that particular domain, he knows that if it is crossing that limit, then it's a problem, right? So what he will do is he will apply that rule on top of that temperature parameter. He will set it like, if it is crossing whatever the number, 100, 500, whatever it is crossing 500, then send an alarm, right? So the alarm will be sent to an engineer who can go and inspect that machine or do whatever, like, he can fix that basically. So that is an example of a rule-based system, right? There is no algorithm is required for such kind of solution. It is fully based on our knowledge and experience. Will put some rules on top of it. So you can see similar rules. I'm not saying that rule-based systems are not applicable, are not used now. It is still, we are using the rule-based systems now in different domains, different areas. We still need it. So that is one example of rule-based system. So when it comes to machine learning, right? So as you know, like, rule-based systems were used for several years and then moved to machine learning. So machine learning, so with the power of the different algorithms, the mathematical algorithm, I hope the audience here all are familiar with the fundamental, the basic concepts of the machine learning and all those. If you do not have, please do ask, because I don't have the profile of the audiences here. So please do ask question if you know, if you do not know some terms used here.
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can you show the slides, like slideshow?
It is in slideshow, right? I'm sorry. It is in slideshow, right?
It's not now, it's okay. But can you press F5 like that? F5 run.
Actually, it was in the presentation mode. Let me try that again. Not sure.
Okay, sir.
How about now?
Sir, okay.
How about now?
Still, it's not in presentation mode.
Okay. What maybe? Wait. I think I shared only that screen. Okay. Give me a second.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think I only shared that. Not the screen means only that PowerPoint I shared. So when I'm putting it on slideshow here, it's not actually getting reflected. What I can do is I can share that full screen. 1 second. Enter screen. 1 second. Okay, how about now?
It's okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry about that because I just shared that, the PowerPoint only, not the full screen. Okay. So I was talking about the machine learning and the advantages of moving. I was trying to say that the advantages of moving towards the machine learning and compared to the rule-based systems, right? So rule-based systems, as I said, it was only applicable in maybe only applied. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can you show the second slide once more, that agenda?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Should I explain it again or?
No. Okay, sir.
It's fine. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, okay. 1 second. So we are now in this particular session, okay, the understanding generative AI and the differences between the traditional AI and the generative AI. So we are now in these first 2 points. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to the machine learning, we have the different algorithms. I was telling you, I'm assuming that you are familiar with the different algorithms in the machine learning, and people started using the algorithms to replace the rule-based rule-based systems, because the machine learning algorithms could able to detect the different patterns in the data, and not just applying the a rule to a particular parameter. So I hope you are familiar with the different algorithms. I'm not going into details of that. We have the supervised algorithms, regression, classification, all those algorithms like like linear regression, logistic regression, random forest, all those still we are using in our industry. We still have many active projects using this traditional AI, this algorithms, because generative AI, some people are thinking like the generative AI has replaced completely the traditional AI. That is not the case actually. We need these algorithms for the predictive AI kind of problems. When it comes to generative AI, I hope you all are familiar with what is the fundamental difference compared to traditional AI and the generative AI. So it generates new content, as you know. Like the traditional AI was not it was not possible. It was using the traditional, it was not possible to generate a new content or anything. It was just forecast something, it was classify, and it was predict some value. But generative AI, with the power of some set of deep learning algorithms like GANs, generative adversarial network, and transformers, it can generate new content or new code or new text, whatever it is. So that is the difference between the rule-based systems, the machine learning systems, and the generative AI-based systems. And I hope you are familiar with the fundamental, the algorithms behind it, and the main, mainly the research around the deep learning side. And there are some type of algorithms or some category of algorithms. Those are not just able to learn the patterns from the data, but it can, give a new pattern to you. When I say new pattern, it can be a new image or it can be new text to you. Let me take one example, one or two example, okay, to explain the difference between the Gen AI and the traditional AI. Okay. So when we are trying to build a classification model, for example, you are building a supervised learning model for classifying, let's say, cat and dog, right? What you will do is you'll take a set of cat images and dog images, train some algorithm, and then using that trained model, we'll apply it to some new images, and it can classify the whether image to whether it is dog image or it is cat image. That is what we do in the traditional AI or predictive AI, right? But when it comes to generative AI, like the algorithms, like the algorithms like GANs and the transformers, those are able to go through the pattern of the images that we provided, the cat and the dog images that we provided. It will go through, to learn all the patterns. Then it will say that, okay, now I don't require any more images. If you want a new image, I can generate a new image for you, because I have seen the pattern of all these images provided by you.
Edit group.
Can you please go on mute, the audience? Audience, please go on mute.
Find type.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what Gen AI can do is, algorithms can do, it can learn the pattern, but it's not just learning, right? After seeing all the pattern, I can say, okay, I can generate a new dog image for you, or a cat image for you. So that is the power of the generative AI algorithms. If you take one more example, like the email classification, right? In all our emails, we have two categories, like normal email and junk email or spam email, what it is. Okay, so we apply the traditional AI algorithms, the classification algorithms, to classify it into normal and the junk email based upon the text pattern and all those. So when we feed all these emails to a generative AI algorithm, it can, again, just like the learning the pattern for an image. It can go through all your emails, whatever the email, thousands of emails that you shared with the algorithms, to go through all the patterns, and then it can say that, okay, I've seen enough emails. Okay, so do you want me to write a new email for you? So that is what it happens with the generative AI algorithms, the transformers, the algorithms behind the Gen AI, and it can learn the patterns from the data that you are sharing it to the algorithm. It can be text, it can be images, it can be code, Python or Java, whatever the code it is. Go through that and understand the pattern, and it can generate a new pattern for you, which is the new pattern means it can be a new email, it can be new text, it can be a new image, or whatever it is. It'll also be a new video as well. Okay, so the different capabilities of generative AI. As I said, it can generate text. The different, text generation means the different possibilities of using the generative text. And it can, of course, you all are familiar with the ChatGPT. I don't want to talk about the ChatGPT. You can ask any question, it gives you the answer. You can give some text and ask to summarize it. It will go through that, it will analyze it, and it will give you the summarized text for you. It can generate a documentation for you, right? We are now using the generative AI tools to quickly develop and generate the documentation for. We have been spending several days or weeks of generating the. Let's say it can be a project documentation that we are creating here. It can be documenting the requirement from a customer. Right now, what we are doing is we are not doing that. Taking that or go through the recording fully and take the notes and preparing it's gone. Everything in that age is gone. We are now moving to the generative AI. We can feed that recording to the generative AI tool. It will analyze the entire recording. Maybe this recording, what we are right now doing is it can feed it to the Gen AI. It can analyze it and it can give you the main points, or you can provide the template. Yeah, we are actually doing that. I'm creating the project design documentations or requirement documentations. We'll just feed the templates to it, and we'll feed that maybe a transcript of the discussion between the client, the meeting that we had with the clients, or among the team. What it is, we can feed that as a text or video, provide the template, and it can generate the documentation for you. So it's just a matter of minutes now or seconds, and compared to the several days or weeks of efforts that we were spending on the documentation. Image synthesis, yes, there are several use cases that currently we are working on to generate the images. Like some cases, like I remember in drug discovery and all, it was not possible to generate, like, to identify the interaction between the drug and the protein kind of. So now it is the generative AI can analyze that interactions and get you that the simulated the visualization of such such interactions in the drug. I'm just giving you an example, but image synthesis or image generation is being used across the industries in media and all. You are already familiar how media is using that image synthesis. Code generation is what even now each and every developer now, even in our company and across every organization who doing the code development or software development are now moving to the generative AI. We have been actively using the GitHub Copilot, which is actually helping every developer is just ask what you want. It's a matter of few minutes now. You're getting the full code, and then you work on that. You are saving maybe 80-90% of your time you're spending on the code, but you should know the fundamentals of the code definitely, because the person who is going, you have to basically review that code which is generated by the generative AI for sure. Okay, but it's just kind of a co-pilot. It is assisting the human, and the final responsibility is the human. The developer who is developing that code, but it is helping a lot on the code generation. Music and video generation, I hope you might have tried the different tools and all available. I haven't tried the music, but I have tried the videos, and Sora is one example, and I think Gemini is also having good videos. So these are on a very high level. I'm just talking on the very high level. Okay, so these are the different capabilities of the generative AI, and at least now I would say the requirements right now we are getting, earlier we are only working with the traditional AI, the forecasting, time series kind of problems. Now the problems that we are getting are very, very interesting, and those are actually fall into this Gen AI category. I would say around 50% or more than 50% of the requirements are now we are getting at this generative AI kind of requirement. So that is the trend that we are seeing. It's a, the trend is changing a lot. They are all interested on the Gen AI kind of, try to solve the different business problems using the generative AI. I will just pause it here before I move to the different use cases of generative AI in different industries. Please, any questions up to here? So up to here, I covered the basic of the generative AI, the algorithms used, the difference between the Gen AI and rule engines, machine learning, and then the different capabilities of the generative AI. Any questions to now? Feel free to ask any question, okay? As Madhu was saying, there is no correct or incorrect question, okay? So any question you can. If you do not have any question, then I will move to the industry applications of generative AI. I have picked, I think, 8 to 10 different industries, and I've included a few points, few use cases of generative AI in this industry. And some of them are already I'm working on, and some of them are already in discussion with different clients. And so those are actually real examples. And some of them are, I think, those are good Gen AI examples. Not all I am working, but some of them are currently I'm working on with different clients. Let me take the first industry, which is the telecommunication, telecom. Okay. So one example, one project that, or the use case which I'm currently working on is applying the generative AI for decision making in telecom. Okay, so the problem what they are facing is, the telecom, the traffic in the different towers and all, right? Because that depends upon so many factors. It is called RAN, radio access network, the different tower and associated hardware in the telecom. It's called RAN. And it is very difficult to forecast the traffic of the RAN, means the tower, and make sure that the it is capable enough to serve for the demand coming in the nearby future. I can give you one example. See, if some cricket match is going to happen in Kaloo Stadium, for example, okay, so a lot of people, thousands of people are going to come around that area. Right? So it is very difficult to forecast such huge demands of 4G and 5G data. I'm talking about the mobile data usage in that area, and make sure that the cell, it is called actually, that hardware in that tower is called cell. The cell is capable enough to serve 1 lakh people in that 1 or 2 towers. So it is not that easy for the telecom engineers to make that decision that, okay, this will serve the purpose of the people who is going to, or in the next couple of months or few months, this is what we have to plan for that particular area. Okay, and it is not just the the number of people is one. That is just one factor that is impacting on, the decision making. Okay? There are so many other factors impacting on that decision making. Maybe weather is another factor, and so many such other factors. So currently in telecom, it's a big team is actually looking into so many different factors, and they're taking at that decision. So that is something that we are currently working on for telecom. We will bring that generative AI, we'll bring that LLM. That solution will, that Gen AI based solution will keep monitoring the full data. It will look it will check, I mean, it will go through the patterns in the historic, the trends in the historic data, and then understand the forecasted, the traffic for the next few months. Also, it will connect to the internet live, check for the events happening, as I said, like, any cricket match kind of happening there. We have the connectors to the internet to check the live data. So it is not just, hope you are aware of, like, the LLMs are trained using the data till to a particular time period. I mean, right? I hope you are familiar. It is not aware of the date. I mean, the events happening currently, or events happened just now. Like if you check the GPT, probably GPT-4 or 4, it might have used the data till probably Jan or February or March till this year. So it is not aware of the recent happenings or the recent data. So that we are actually, you will use the LLM, but we will make sure that it is connecting to the internet. That is called, the tool calling in generative AI, and it will collect to the internet and it fetch the information for that particular location. If I'm interested on the Kalu study nearby, it will get that information, searching in the internet and using all this information. Then, just like a human, it will sit on top of this data, okay, and then say that, okay, I see that there is a huge demand for 5G or whatever, 4G or 5G, whatever data for this location, and you will have to expand your network. You'll have to expand the the capability or capacity of that particular tower and take care. So this is how people are now using the generative AI in telecom. That is just one example I'm giving. Okay, and in telecom itself, customer interaction is the other one, and that's a very generic use case. I'm not saying that that customer interaction or a bot, generative AI based chatbots are specific to telecom. No, every industry, the all type of chatbots, the NLP chatbots are now getting upgraded to the generative AI, and that is the main work actually that we are seeing, the Gen AI, because that is more personalized, right? It can understand the person and then come up with its own personalized recommendation. So the second point is not actually specific to telecom, but for telecom, yes, when we are building for the telecom, it can be a personalized bot for a customer, or it can be a personalized bot for a service telecom engineer. All these kind of demands or requirements now we are getting. Synthetic data generation, again, it's a generic use case across the different industries, different domains that we are seeing that. Sometimes getting the data is very difficult, right? This is mainly applicable to healthcare. I think the next slide is on the healthcare. It is very difficult to use the data, the healthcare data, the actual data, because there are so many regulations to use the actual data. So in such kind of cases, we can use the generative AI to generate the data and then use for your research. In some of the cases, when we build the research, when we build the models, if we do not have the data, we have to relay such kind of generative AI tools to simulate some kind of scenarios and go for the model building process. So it's a good use case for telecom. The second one is, I'll stop maybe in 2 or 3 slides. I'll stop and for the questions. Okay. The second industry is my favorite. I mean, healthcare, because as I said, I'm from the healthcare and biotechnology background. I spent around 8 years with the drug discovery and machine learning. So now, at that time, actually, when I was working with the healthcare, we were using the NLP, AI, the machine learning and deep learning. But now, generative AI is being used to handle different type of problems in healthcare and drug discovery. One example I can give you, like when I started my career and all, we were sketching the molecules. I mean, for example, if you want to build, design or identify a new potential drug for a new disease, let's say COVID or whatever. Okay, so what normally happens in the pharma and the biotechnology is they'll take the target for that. I mean, they'll identify the target for the virus or bacteria, whatever it is. Okay, target mean it can be a protein or a DNA sometimes. Okay, and they will do a virtual search on a drug-like molecule. So we were building those molecule database containing a millions of molecules. We are sketching it manually. So now generative AI, what it is doing is it is actually looking into the existing drugs in the market and can generate a better drug. So earlier only medicinal chemists were able to do that, looking into the chemistry, chemical components, whether it replace the nitrogen with the oxygen or fluorine with the chlorine, whatever, it was only done by the medicinal chemist. And now it is like LLM, the generated AI can look into, understand all this. Uh, uh, it can say that, okay, I have seen 100 drugs available in the market. Okay, I know what makes that 100 drugs active against that particular target, active against particular bacteria or HIV or whatever. Okay, now I can design a new drug for you. So this is a revolution happening in the drug discovery side. Normally, a drug discovery, new drug, it's taking some 10 to 12 to 14 years of time to discover a new drug. Now it is speeding up the initial computation, that initial phase of that drug discovery, speeding up a lot, and it is actually fast tracking the entire drug discovery process. And we are seeing that now, and we will definitely see in the next few months or so some new drugs are coming into the market which are AI designed. Another use case is medical image enhancement, which is improving the medical images. Sometimes the medical images are not, the quality of the images generated. It can be an X-ray, or maybe because of the devices are not that capable to generate higher resolution images. Now enhancement of that images. I have read some articles around that. The Gen AI is now being integrated with so many hardware used in the hospitals and all. So that means it will take that image, but it will get processed to the generative AI. It will make that image better and for the doctor to analyze it. So it's again a brilliant application of the generative AI in the medical field. And the third one, I know how difficult it is to do a clinical documentation. It is very, very difficult. If you take that FDA regulations and all, the Food and Drug Administration, who is actually approving the new drug candidates and all. So it's very, very difficult. It's very complicated to document that from a lot of clinical trials information and all. It's very, very time consuming, challenging to the human, because it's very difficult to do that. And now that is also being automated using the generative AI to analyze, to go through the entire, probably the clinical trials report and or maybe the doctor's notes, everything, and then come up with the final documentation which is required to submit to the regulatory authority. So it is again, it's a big advantage to the drug discovery side or the healthcare side to speed up the processes. So that was Gen AI for the healthcare, and maybe I will go through one more domain, and then I'll pause it for if there are any questions. Banking and financial. You are already familiar with the fraud detection in banking. Like we were building, again, it's kind of a classification kind of algorithm we are building, classify the data with the normal and the fraud, and that is how we were building. I have worked several such projects for different banking, financial, and all to build a fraud detection system. But now what happening is it was also difficult, when we are building a model to simulate different fraudulent scenarios. We don't know, the people they are thinking about different ways to crack some systems, right? So now generative AI can think maybe human is not able to, or a data scientist who will building the model is unable to think about such scenarios to include a normal. So now Gen AI is now used for generating such fraudulent such cases or scenarios. I again, this is not just specific to banking. It is applicable to any anomaly detection kind of use cases in the different domains, not just specific to the banking and financial here. But it is again a great use case for the fraud detection, anomaly detection kind of areas. It is going to be, I think in the future, it's going to be a machine learning plus Gen AI kind of, because we were currently in many use cases in projects, we are using that. The ML model will do some forecasting or some prediction kind of, and Gen AI will sit on top of it and take that decision. Okay, I'm seeing some anomalies here and there, and this is the action you should take, and it can advise to the human based upon that. Risk assessment and modeling is again, we were using the ML and all. Now Gen AI is again used in that kind of area. And of course, the third use case, I think I already said that it is again a chatbot, and it can give you the personalized advices to different, maybe some investments or all those. Now Gen AI, I see a lot of demands coming from banking, finance, replacing their existing chatbots to Gen AI based chatbots, because everybody now wants a more personalized, because everybody now are familiar with the ChatGPT. They all know familiar with how personalized the AI can be, and everybody wants nobody wants that old chatbot now asking for, do you want this or this, and it has to ask this is what I understand based upon your profile. Can I go with this action? That is what everybody wants. Anyway, that's a big advantage that I see moving to the Gen AI based chatbots. Any question till now? I'll just pause it now before I move to next 3 or 4 domains. Yes, I heard a noise. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. This is Liji from Namla College. Sir, regarding the synthetic data generation, synthetic data creation, is there any strategy behind it? Like, is it like just as such you are replicating the data, or how could you do that?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a very good question. Okay, so that depends upon the use cases. We are not actually replicating it. For replicating the same data, we do not require generative AI. We can just programmatically do that. Okay, we are using the generative AI to create new what I should call it as new scenarios, basically. Okay, for example, in one of the cases, we got one scenario from the customer. Okay, and they said they don't have any similar scenarios with them. So at that point of time, we cannot build any model using only one scenario. Okay, then we had to feed that to the LLM, and the LLM will understand that one scenario, and it will generate a new type of data for you. So it's not replicating the existing data, but it is replicating, generating a new scenarios or new type of data. It is for your use case, whatever the use case you are building, whether it is fraud detection model you are building, or whether you are building an anomaly detection. LLM can generate a new type of anomalies for you, or new type of fraud cases, scenarios for you. It depends upon the use case and not just replicating the data, ma'am.
Sir, if it is in a healthcare sector, can we go for synthetic data creation? That is
exactly one way. That is the main one example is the patient data, right?
Yeah, sir. So in that case,
yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, in that case, if it is not replicating, then how could you get the data points? I'm not getting that point. Like, if all
Can you give me one example, like what type of data you require? I can give you one example. Okay, suppose if I am building a model for predicting the risk of diabetes for a patient. I'm giving you one example. Okay, risk of diabetes for a patient means what I want is, for training the model, is I want, let's say, 1,000 patient data to train my model, because it's going to be a risk analysis model. I'm going to build it. So what I'm telling the generative AI, see, I need 1,000 patient data. Okay, and I want 50-50 percentage male and female. I can give the different conditions. I want few people from this geography and that geography, because LLM is already having all those information. So the BMI and all, for example, I want that patient ID and patient the gender, age, then BMI, and maybe some other health-related parameters. Okay, that is the data I'm requiring. So I can ask I can use the generative AI. I can just quickly give my instructions and generate the data set of 1,000 patient data with maybe 1,000 rows and 10 columns, and the final data. The last column would be the risk of diabetes or whatever. You based upon the requirement, what the use case that you are building. Does
Okay,
that
so
answer?
GenAI is actually retrieving data from the data which is already there, like from.
No,
No.
ma'am. No, it is not working like that. No, it is not working like that. Okay, that is also possible. That is also possible, but it is actually, it has already seen the full data. How the GPT-4o by OpenAI has built is everything available in the the internet. It is already seen that data. Okay, so it is already knowing all the healthcare data, patient data pattern, everything. It is already. It knows already. So you can just give the instructions and it can generate the data for you. You don't need to give any inputs to the LLM. Just give the instructions, what data you require, and you'll get the data from the LLM. If you want to provide any sample data to, like your question, right, whether it is connected to your DB, if you want to give any sample data to generative AI, you can give the sample data, but you are not asking the generative AI to just replicate it. You are asking the generative AI to look into this sample and generate similar data, similar 1,000 records. So either way you can build it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But if it is not fully answered, I can definitely help you with it. You just can connect with me and I can help you with that. But
Yes,
the generating the synthetic data is, it is very helpful in different projects that we have done. But one thing that you have to be careful is, it is generated data. So you have to use it if it is absolutely not, it is not possible to get any actual data. Because when you are using the synthetic data, that kind of issues you will face it in the model that you are building. So make sure that it is absolutely not possible to get the actual data, and then you can go with the. So it depends upon the use case that you can decide it.
Okay, sir. That is, if it is like clinical data, you need to verify or you need to work on with. And if you are going for synthetic data, how far we could achieve that gap? We can.
Yeah. So so that one way you can do is that HITL means a human in the loop. Somebody can review it. Okay. Maybe allow in almost all the AI projects that we are bringing the human in the loop, which is called HITL, so that it is not like we are blindly taking some data and going to the into the model and all. We will definitely review it. That human intervention should be there in all the process, so that we can make sure that the data is good enough to take it to our model.
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for that detailed explanation. So we have a question in the chat. How can we address data privacy and security when training AI systems with sensitive health records?
That is, again, a great question. Okay. In my experience, I can give you 2-3 steps I follow. Okay. And that's a great question. And I keep getting that question from different clients. Maybe 2-3 steps. Different people, different ways they can address it. How I'm addressing or in my different projects is, first one is the PII data, personal identifiable information, the PII data that we will remove from the actual data when we are passing to the, because we have so many regulations like HIPAA. Maybe you might have heard about HIPAA. HIPAA is one regulation in Europe and all that will that is actually restricting using the healthcare data for AI model building and all. What we are doing is we will remove all the person identifying information, PII data, from the data to passing to the generative AI model. That is one step. Second step is we will not be using the public chat GPT or anything. We'll be using the GPT through the dedicated subscription. You might be familiar with the Azure, the cloud subscription and all. We'll be using a dedicated cloud subscription GPT service for doing that, so that the data will not be going outside. That is second step. Third step, some of the cases like healthcare and all, they do not want, absolutely not share the data outside of their premise. They don't want to share it. In such kind of cases, we will recommend hosting the LLM on their premises. The open sources LLMs and all, right? that can be hosted on premise so that the data will not go outside from their premise. And that is the third step. Some of the healthcare and banking use cases, we are going with that third approach. So these three approach mainly I follow. One is make sure that you are not sharing any person identified information to the LLM or any AI. Second, go with the dedicated subscription, not using any public LLM or anything. Third one is go with the open source, go with the on-premise, hosting and build the solution. Does that answer your question?
The doubt was raised by Miss Sigma Akhil.
Go ahead, Sigma. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
It's called guardrails. Okay, so we build as part of every AI solution, we build guardrails. It's called AI guardrails. Means it is making sure that the input to the LLM is filtered based upon the regulation of whatever. The output from the LLM also filtered before going to the user, because there are some cases there will be hallucinations and all. There are so many such problems can happen, right? Maybe to the patients or to maybe some psychiatric problem patients, there are chatbots and all. The LLM, we cannot 100% guarantee the output, right? It can give some hallucination and give some of it. It shouldn't go to some people like, facing some mental challenges, and also there are so many things that we should take care when we are building any AI application. So we should be very careful in, and also make sure that we are compliant to all these regulations. And thank you for that question. Okay, so I'll take the rest of the questions towards the end. Okay, so I have to make sure that I will finish it within time, not take any additional time. Okay, right.
Okay,
So so I'll move to the third one, which is, but I will spend a good amount of time for the addressing the question for sure. Okay, because these are really good questions and must be clarified. And when we go to the, I think this is fourth industry, the manufacturing, we'll go a bit fast, okay, because don't want to go deeper into that, but if you have a question, definitely we can. In manufacturing, the new design, generating a new design, right? If you take like one, my previous organization in Pune, actually, they were into designing the components for the automotive, like BMW, Benz and all, they had the project. So they're designing a new, coming with the new design, how difficult it is. They need to consider so many different parameters, so many different existing designs all they need to consider, because basically they shouldn't just design something which is very similar to someone else design. They will go for the patenting issues and all that, because that might have patented by someone else. So there are so many issues related to that. So now generative AI is being used to come up with the new designs, because it's not like one or two humans are thinking about the different new design. Generative AI is like a lot of people, say maybe we can say millions of people brains come together, understand the different designs. You will feed the different designs by competitors and all that, existing ones, and tell the different the requirements or what you want to do, or what is you are expecting for, or your concepts to the generative AI, and it can generate a new design for you. So lot of application. I heard from my previous colleagues in that, in that organization now, Gen AI is being used for this designing the new design for automotive kind of, and it is applicable to the other industries as well. And I'm just skipping that second one. The process optimization, again, a really complicated problem. You might have worked with this optimization problems in the machine learning and all. It, how difficult it is, like supply chain optimization, whatever. Like, you need to consider several thousands of different scenarios and come up with the best that process, that particular the best scenario, I would say. Okay, so you'll have to consider the n number of different scenarios to come up with the best scenario, because you need the perfect output for your the solution that you're building or the process, right? So There, it is again a generic use case in different process optimizations. The GenAI is used, and in case of manufacturing, like the different hardware manufacturing or the car manufacturing, or it can be flight, aircraft manufacturing. Aircraft. If I talk about aircraft, there are so many use cases in the aircraft that you can use the AI, like anomaly detection, or like there are so many process optimization possibilities in the aircraft industry as well. And it's so complicated because there will be thousands and thousands of parameters you'll have to consider, and humanly analyzing all these parameters, it's very difficult. Now GenAI is analyzing instead of the human and coming up with a recommendation for the human. Automotive, yeah. So the same I think covered in the previous slide. So simulating the driving simulation, the driving pattern. I remember one of the project that I worked, like it was for the personalized, what is called it basically based upon your driving pattern. If you're a good driver, then you'll have to pay very less amount to that, as the premium for your car insurance. Okay, so that's one project and we are working. So in such kind of project, you have to analyze that driver's driving pattern, right? So like in the new type of vehicles and all, the data is captured. There is an ODB port there. Hope you are familiar with that ODB port, just down to that your steering. So now the latest cars, it's connected to the internet. So the data is being captured. So it is going to some server, and using that data, you can analyze that type of, how good that person is driving, based upon like how he is applying that brake and all those, like whether he is a good driver or a bad driver. And you can think about the various advantages of classifying or understanding that person driving skills, right? Because if he's a good driver, then the chance of the accident is the probability is low, but if you're a bad driver, then the accident chance is high, like that, right? So when the data is captured, the generated AI can analyze. There are so many parameters again captured from the ODB pod. You can go through that data. It's so complicated data, and understand that and make a decision that these are the good drivers, these are the bad drivers, these are the medium kind of, those things are possible. And this is a good use case, and this good advantage for the insurance companies in the automotive to take a call on the and apply a customized premium for their motor insurance. In-cabin assistance, again, generic use case. We have, there are so many requirements we are seeing now, like moving to the generative AI-based assistance inside the car, talking to like it can be like a Gemini talking to you, like you can just talk to AI. It's already there, but again, it's moving to the generative AI with more and more features. Design prototyping, it's similar to the one which I explained in the previous one. Designing using the AI, generating a new design. Retail and e-commerce. One thing I know, visual merchandising is the one which I would say it's Gen AI is widely used, because how you are basically in the shops and or like the supermarkets and all, how you are merchandising, how the products are displayed there, how the products are, the captions to the products, how the descriptions for the products are generated. It's not like no longer humans are now writing the descriptions of the products and all that. We do have such projects for the retails and all. Everything now replaced with humans are replaced with generative. I'm not saying that the full entire humans are replaced with AI. I have been getting that question from the almost all the sessions that I'm taking, like whether the AI is going to replace the human. I'm saying no, but the team is getting reduced. AI is actually taking the majority of the role, and humans will be there, but humans will be mainly doing that HITL, human in the loop reviewing process, and there will be few. So yeah, that is happening. That is I cannot say that AI is not going to impact the job and all. It is, but you'll have to consider AI like a co-pilot. It's a companion. It is actually working along with you to achieve a goal. Yeah. So visual merchandising is a good example. I mean, use case for generative AI in retail and e-commerce, and shopping assistants and all. Again, so I remember like we had a recent interaction with a customer asking for, the mobile app, and the Gen AI based app will just talk to the, when you enter that shop, the avatar will come and talk to you. Like if you think about like you are entering to the Lulu fashion store or Lulu hypermarket, and you have that mobile, and you have somebody you can interact with, and you don't need to ask people going here and there. You can just interact with this, and it will tell you that you go to right and left, and you just go this behind that. I mean, you get to go to this section, just interacting just like a friend. Think about that, right? I mean, I know you all might have experienced how difficult it is sometimes finding the item that you are searching for in a Lulu hypermarket, right? So media and entertainment. You might have already noticed, I have noticed in Asianet news and all those news channels I'm seeing, right? There are now AI generated videos coming, right? So it is the number one application of generative AI. It can easily generate the videos for you. You don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for creating your advertisement with human and all. It's now like a few minutes you can generate the video that you require for your product or whatever the requirement that you are having. So it's already there. I mean, it's not new. Generative AI is being used, and also if you want to do some in healthcare, I think we already discussed like improving the image generator and all. It's the Gen AI is used. Automated dubbing and translation. I would say so many now use cases now, requirements coming, like translate this language to that. Indian languages in a banking customer are asking for, I want this. The user will interact in Malayalam, and you have to the LLM has to understand that, or LLM has to understand it, detect that language automatically. It has to understand the Japanese, it has to understand the Chinese, and respond in the language which user is talking about. It's all now. I know you are familiar with the Gemini, the real-time API and all now can detect it, and thousands and thousands of use cases only in that interaction, customer interaction, translation, and all those. Storytelling and all, I think it's all being used in the movie, cinema industries and all. You don't need to too much worry on a new story for the Drishyam 3 now. You can just ask for the generative AI and it can tell you a good story. Education sector. Well, I would say personalized learning is one area. Content generation, personalized content generation. Suppose if I am new to, maybe I can tell and I can talk to the avatar. Again, think about, I have an avatar. I can interact and I can see this is what I know. Okay, see, I am from a healthcare background and I have some background with that Python. Now you teach me on generative AI or agentic AI, right? So it's like you don't require now the already the generated contents and all. It can generate new content for you, and mostly it is accurate, not 100%. Mostly it is accurate, and it can generate the personalized content for you, and that is something that you will really you'll see in the learning platforms and very soon, because now I am seeing a transformation from the old technologies to the new technologies now, the generative AI based content creation and the agents for the tutoring agent. Yes, I mean, going forward, you will always have a Gen AI based tutor. I do have a Gen AI agent created for me. I do have an agent created for even for preparing the sessions like this, because I do take I take different sessions and all that. So I need to spend a lot of time on preparing the content now. what to talk or what to based upon. It's all like I do have an agent which is I build using the Gemini LLM, and I interact with them so that it knows me, right? Because it is storing that historic conversation, historic interactions I had, and now next time it can say, "Oh, Rajat, I know that you have a session coming, right?" Or I know that you already learned this thing in the past, or you can expect so and so things. People, it's good to be prepared with this, type of content for this kind of audience. So all this kind of it in going forward, maybe when in case we are meeting next time after a few months or something, majority of the people, you all will be having an agent on your phone, AI agent on your phone, interacting with you and helping with you with your personalized learning. Legal services, I'm currently working on some project. This is actually, you have a lot of contracts, hundreds and hundreds of contracts with you, documentation, and one contract is actually hundreds of pages. Okay, humanly it is very difficult to go through each and every contract. I'm talking about the contracts between, let's say, your organization, your college, with so many organizations, different colleges. So these agreements are normally thousands or sometimes 100+ pages, and it is very difficult to go through the entire documentations and answer. For example, do you have this or partners in Middle East who can do so and so, provide so and so services, or so many questions people can ask in contract, and the generated AI is super amazing. Can go through the full documents quickly and get you the right information. I think in the previous session, last few minutes, I was hearing Matthew was talking about the RAG, retrieval generate augmentation and all, right? So I hope you are all familiar with the RAG technology, and so many other MCP and all the technologies are coming. So it can go to the full knowledge base and get you the answer that you are looking for, and it's a super feature from an application of the generative AI. Drafting, it's not just go through the existing contracts. It can draft a new contract for you, and drafting the contract, how difficult it is. You'll have to spend several weeks at least. Think about like drafting a patent application. If you're working on it, think about just preparing a publication, right? So this kind of documentations and all, you'll be saving at least an 80-90% of time. To draft or generate such documentation and review. I mentioned, I discussed about that already. Okay, case analysis and enhancements. It's like, again, extracting the critical information, and the agents can send you the notification. Maybe the team who is responsible for this contract management and all, they'll it is very difficult for them to go through these hundreds and hundreds of documentations and make sure that no contracts are expired, or which are the contracts being expired. Now it's all agents. AI agents will do all but definitely, the team will be doing that review, and again, the HITL, the human in the loop, and this team will just review that, or just take that input or recommendation from the agents, and then going further, take that call. I mean, the final decision will be taken by the humans, okay, and not by the AI. If you want maybe the low risky items, if you want to give it to the agent AI, you can. I'm not saying that we need the humans in all cases, but there are some cases which are low risky, which you already know, and which you can give it to the AI if you want. Energy and utilities in the, maybe the electricity, one of the project that I worked on, like, the patterns of the usage patterns of different customers and all. Again, it is, if you want to have a personalized billing or personalized package for your customers for electricity or water, you can apply the AI technology, generative AI, to go through that, the data, understand the person, understand the requirements, understand the pattern of usage in the past few months, and then come up with the right package for the customer. I worked on a US customer in similar engagement, and at that time you are using the pattern mining algorithms like a priori kind of algorithm, probably you are familiar. Now it's like, we are not stopping that machine learning a priori algorithm, but we are bringing the generative AI to, take brilliant decisions using all these patterns, and all the decision making is where we want the generative AI, and that will help the humans, to take that decision faster and more efficient. Any question before I just spend a few minutes on the agentic AI? I only have a couple of slides, okay, on the agentic AI. Before that, before moving to the agentic AI, any questions? Okay, next few minutes, I'll just try to explain what is agentic AI. Okay, not the definition, I would say, but you have to understand the difference when do we need the agentic AI. I'll give again one example from telecom. Okay, so
Sir?
yeah.
Pardon me, sir. We have a question in the chat.
Okay, sorry, I don't monitor that chat. Okay, sorry. Okay, please go ahead.
Sir, I'll just read it out.
Sure.
Sir, do we need to follow HIPAA, HIPAA and GDPR rules when applying for patents in medical research using patient data?
Okay. Only for the research, correct? I think you can refer to the source of the data. Okay, I understand your question. Okay, you want to do some research using the healthcare data and apply for a patent or a publication, right? So you can refer to the data set that you are taking. If you're taking any publicly available data, you can refer the the instructions provided there. In some of the data given, they will clearly tell that it is not actually. First of all, it will be really difficult to get the actual data, healthcare data, publicly available. That is one thing. Even if you're getting some data, make sure that you refer the instruction provided there, or contact that owner for that the repository, and ask the same question to them, and make sure that you can use that data for your research. That is the easiest way, I would say. But I doubt whether you will be able to use any actual data for your research. I mean, especially with the personal identified information for your research. If you still need any help from me, just share that data link to you. Maybe I can also help with you. Okay. But generally, we go with the dummy data. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sir.
I hope that answers your question, and not sure who that question from whom. Please contact with me, okay, if you still have any question, and definitely I'll be able to help with you. Okay. Any more questions in the chat?
No, sir.
Okay. So agentic AI, I'll take one example and try to explain the difference in the agentic AI and generative AI. Okay. So in telecom side, like I was giving you an example of the forecasted traffic, and somebody will monitor that traffic, and somebody will again check that whether we have any events are happening in that area or not. So now there are different teams involved in that decision making process, right? One team will be responsible for maybe check that pattern in the historic data. Maybe they will be using some ML models, algorithms to check the patterns and understand the forecasted data and all. There will be another team checking the events happening, and maybe someone else will, maybe a team or one person, maybe another one person will take all this data and then finally take a call, like we'll have to expand that network there in that area and all. So now you understand there are different teams involved in this to achieve one goal. The goal is the improved network, or make sure that the the RAN capability is good enough or sufficient enough to handle the crowd, the users, right? So in this kind of situation, we need multiple Gen AI based models. So one Gen AI model will get that information from the external sources, and maybe one Gen AI model will work along with the forecasting model and do that forecasting. One ML model will do that final decision making. one model will actually alert the people, I mean the engineers, and about that, taking that. And we need somebody to take that action also. No, the final action will be increase the or decrease that bandwidth of that tower, right? There are different teams involved in that. So in these kind of use cases, we can use the multiple Gen AI models, and each Gen AI model is each Gen AI model here in this case is called an agent. We call it as agent, and all these agents are using generative AI to take a, it can do the analysis, or it can take a decision, or it can take an action. Everything is, these agents are powered by generative AI only, but we need multiple such agents to perform some, some activity, or one goal to achieve a goal. Another example I can take, why I'm saying is like people are now bringing the agentic AI into like some unnecessary, like solving some simple problems. You don't require the agentic AI to solve any simple problems like a classification where you can go for a supervised, or simple summarization where we just need a generative AI application. We don't need multiple agents to solve such kind of problem. But another example of agentic AI use case is like claim submission and processing. Like it can be healthcare claim or automated. There are different teams working in the claims management. Maybe one team will interact with you, like what diseases or which hospital and all those. So, and one team will actually do the documentation. One team will make sure that we can submit it to the regulatory for the claims and all. Then one team will responsible for checking the outputs. I mean, whether it is approved or rejected. There are different teams involved. Now we can bring different agents to replace the different teams here. One agent will interact with the humans. If you want to go for a healthcare reimbursement or a claim process, you can just interact with the agent. Just like the human will ask you the questions around like okay, which hospital you visited, and what type of whether you had or some information or documentation is missing, it can ask. Just like in a human, it can interact with you. So that is we call it as onboarding, or a user interacting agent. Another agent will make sure that the documentation is done properly. So it's all, each and every agent, definitely, once the agent task is completed, the human will be there. You will send to the human, and the human will approve it. We can build the system without humans in the loop. But in almost all the cases, at least the project that I'm handling, I'm asking to forcing the even recommending the client to keep the humans in the loop, because we don't want to take the risk. There are chances of like hallucinations, and it can go completely wrong, which I cannot predict it. So it is better to have some human there, at least just review it and then proceed. So saving a 99% of time, but still we have a complete control with us. So that is what the agentic AI is. So I would say agentic AI equals to generative AI plus autonomy plus action. That is what my way of defining the agentic AI. Agentic AI is equal to generative AI plus autonomy plus action. It is it can take the actions, it can take the decisions without the help of any other external human or anybody. It can take the decision. So it is an autonomous system, fully autonomous system, fully interacted. I mean, it is being interacted by the different agents. The agents can talk to each other also. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with the A2A, agent to agent protocol, or ACP protocol, agent communication protocol by IBM, A2A by Google. So these are some of the protocols to know the agents can interact each other. And when one agent completes its job, it can talk to the other agent, say that, you take the next step. So it's all there now, and it's being developed, and it's not actually no longer just theory, but it's all happening now. Okay. So yeah, that's it from my end. I can take more questions now before I conclude it. Please go ahead with your questions.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if you have any queries or questions to ask, you can either post in the chat box or you can ask directly.
Please go ahead with the question. Yes. I keep getting the question from the different audience. I told you, I mean, it's a common question, like whether, and may not be from the academy side, but from the industry, audience, like whether AI is going to replace, like, my answer, not my answer, right? I heard that, from someone else when I was attending, but I like that answer. Like, AI is not going to replace your job, but someone with AI skills might replace you. So that is what is happening. Like, AI is not directly replacing you, but people are learning the AI. People having the AI skills or Gen AI skills might replace you. That's a current situation.
Participants, if you have any queries, kindly post. Sir, shall we move on, sir?
Yeah. No questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just wrapping it up. So we have seen the.
Sir, we have a question.
Sure. Yeah.
Could you share your email ID and phone number?
I can. Yes, I can put it in the chat. Not sure how I can. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But I can share the email and phone number.
Yeah.
No problem. I'm not very familiar with the Google Meet. Rarely use the Google Meet. Yes.
Dr. Anita, sir mentioned that you could collect it from LinkedIn profile.
No, I can share. I can share it here in the chat. Also.
Yes. Okay. Share.
Okay. Just shared my email and my mobile number.
Yes, sir. We got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, sir, shall we move on to the winding up part?
Yes. I just have one message to all of you. Like, the trend is changing.
Sir, I think, could you make your mic close? Yes, sir.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So I just want to remind you, each and everyone listening to me, the trend is changing. As I said, I started with this, the machine learning, then moved to the deep learning, generative AI. After learning the generative AI, I thought, okay, at least that transition will stop for pause for a while. Okay, but that is also not happening now. Agentic AI is coming, so it's daily new technologies are coming, but we'll have to make sure that we are learning the new technologies, because as I said, like, if you are not learning the AI, and someone with the AI skills might replace you. So I would say the Gen AI is a superpower. Okay, so please make sure that each and every one of you utilize this superpower and make a big difference in your career. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was really an informative and excellent session, especially like the sessions could be understood by even a novice in the field. So I would like to request Ms. Rose Maria Roy for a few words of gratitude. Rose, please.
Good evening. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks of today's. Hello.
So I am not able to hear.
No. Rose. You're not audible.
Very. Good evening. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for today's FDP session on generative AI. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the extreme speaker, Dr. Ranjit Paulos, for such an informative session on generative AI, for the insightful and thoughtful provoking section of AI evolution from rule-based system to machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. And also the examples like text generation, image synthesis, so on. And also the industrial applications in the areas of telecommunication, healthcare, manufacturing, and so on also helps us to understand the concepts of generative AI more clearly and connect to the real world practices. With this, once again, I express my gratitude for the insightful talks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rose. So thus we have come to the conclusion of day one with 2 sessions, and it was a really very fruitful and brilliant sessions. We would like to thank you, sir, for joining us today and sparing so much of your time with us, and for the valuable sessions also. And dear participants, thank you for joining us and being online for so much. The feedback form link has been shared to the WhatsApp group, as well as it's being shared in the chat box also. Tomorrow too, we'll be having 2 sessions starting at 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. So see you all tomorrow. Till then, good night and take care. Thank you, sir, once again.
And thank you for the invite, and thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Ranjit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.